72 degrees in the climate-controlled Lucas Oil Stadium, the 2A high school state championship football game between the Western Boone Stars and the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers Knights. I'm Nathaniel Finch. To my right is Colin Marth, and to his right sits Maggie Michael for WBTV Sports.
The Stars at 10-4 bring their run-centric offense, averaging 200 yards per game, against the 8-6 Knights pass-heavy spread offense that averages 220 passing yards per game.
The Stars have one of the best defenses in 2A, while Luers has struggled in that area, giving up 33 points per game.
The Stars, of course, a team that is in this game for a third straight year. The first year, of course, when they defeated Eastbrook 34-20. Last year, that same Eastbrook team won 44-7, and they're going to try to three-peat tonight. If they do win the game, they will be the third team in IHSAA history to win 3 straight state championships. One of the other two, of course, the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers Knights.
Some major headlines for the Luer Knights. They are making their state-leading 16th appearance in the state finals, but they haven't been back here since 2012. They have defeated 4 consecutive top 10 teams to get to this point. Number 7, Fairfield. Number 4, Eastside. Number 6, Tipton. And then last week, of course, they defeated the number 3 Pioneer football team.
Fort Wayne has one of the best passing offenses in the state, ranked number 2 in the state to be exact. They're averaging 240 passing yards per game. They've got 35 touchdowns through the air compared to just 13 interceptions. On the ground, though, not quite as much volume. They've got 24 attempts per game for an average of 5.1 yards per attempt. That's 122 yards per game. So they definitely like to go pass heavy a lot more, but they still have 25 rushing touchdowns. So punching into the end zone on the ground, not a problem for this team either. So they've got definitely a very potent offense. Looking at their turnover margin, +4. They're pretty opportunistic defense. They have 30 takeaways this year, but they have given up the ball 26 times as well. So they're a team that, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they cannot stop very many teams here, but they can make up for with that high-powered offense.
Western Boone sitting at about 32 points for every game that they've played. Not a very pass-heavy team, sitting at about 1,540 passing yards for this season. But we do see a decent amount of completions out of their attempts, sitting 101 for 179. Their completion rate being 57%, averaging about 110 yards for passing every game. Their rushing yards, though, we can see a very impressive number there, 2,863, sitting at about 205 for every game. And their total yards are 4,403 for this season. That's a very high number that we can see from Western Boone here, averaging about 315 per game. They have a +8 turnover margin here. We can see a lot of interesting things here today. Last week, we saw some interceptions and fumble recoveries from Western Boone, which really proved to be pivotal for their game against Mater Dei.
Next, we'll get into the schedule for both of these teams, but first, a 60-second break, and we'll be back shortly right here on WBTV Sports.
Six, 8, who do we appreciate?
I do, and the high school teams in our community appreciate all of you. They need to hear your voice, loud and proud, more than ever before.
They need your enthusiasm. They need your attendance at their games and meets. And they need for you to follow virus protocols, get a flu shot, so that they can have a great year.
Your positive, supportive voice is appreciated more than you know. I'm Chris Kaufman.
And I'm Sandra Walter. We're both assistant commissioners at the IHSAA. Thank you again for your enthusiastic support of high school sports.
This is passion. This is enthusiasm. This is community pride. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
We're back here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Coming up shortly is the Western Boone Stars against the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers Knights. But first, let's talk about how the Knights got here to this game. They started the regular season just with a 3-6 record, really struggled in some of these games, but it's partly because of this really tough Summit Conference, and they have to play all of the Fort Wayne teams. Ended up third to last in that Summit Conference. But let's look at each game. So they lost to Carroll week 1. They beat Fort Wayne 49-36 before losing to Homestead, Concordia. They defeated Fort Wayne North 49-46 in a really close game, and then they lost 2 straight to Northrop and Bishop Dwenger. And then they defeated Fort Wayne South 41-27, lost to Snyder. And then this is where they really started to heat up. That first round of sectionals against Whitco, 56-7, their highest scoring output of the year. And then they defeated Fairfield in round 2, 49-12. Eastside, 56-49 in the sectional championship. Regionals against Tipton, they defeated the Blue Devils 36-17. And then, of course, last week against Semi-State, we mentioned it earlier, against Pioneer, they defeated the Pioneer team 42-34.
Looking at the journey to get here for the Stars, they started out the regular season a little rough. They lost their first game against Sheridan 21-20. They lost again at home versus Western 31-20. And then finally they won their first game against Crawfordsville. The score of that one 48-14. Then they traveled to Tri-West, where they lost again 41-14. And then here's where they started to kick it in. They won against North Montgomery 38-16, again at Frankfort 37-0. And then they hosted Southmont, who they beat 47-7. They turned around and they lost to Danville, who is in the state championship for 3A, 28-14. And then they won against Lebanon at Lebanon 21-6. For their sectional, they kicked it into high gear. They beat Speedway 25-3. They beat North Putnam 37-14 and Seeger 42-12. For the regional, they beat Heritage Christian 42-27. And then finally last week they beat Evansville Mater Dei 42-7.
Speaking about that game against Mater Dei, last week the Western Boone Stars faced off against the Mater Dei Wildcats in an amazing game for Western Boone, bringing a 42-7 victory and smashing expectations of what was supposed to be a close game. Indy Star predicting 21-20 in Western Boone's favor. Western Boone's number 41, senior Robbie Taylor, led offense for the night with 4 touchdowns and 137 rushing yards for the evening. We saw a couple quarterback keepers from Western Boone as well, something they don't normally do, which led quarterback number 18 Elliott Young to a rushing touchdown. We saw a great defensive game as well, with deflections from seniors Connor Garrity and Dominic Mitchell, and freshman number 3, Cannon Bruins, with an amazing game, intercepting 2 passes, 1 for a touchdown, and a fumble recovery against the Wildcats, proving to be a vital player and potential rising star for Webo. Mater Dei had some interesting attempts at throwing off Western Boone's defense, but it simply was not enough.
Last week, the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers faced Pioneer. They won that matchup 42-34. The quarterback for Luers, Carson Clark, he had 326 yards and 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. His longest pass was 45 yards. Their rushing game not so established. Their highest rusher was Raymond Anderson with only 10 yards. Their receiving leader was Krayshawn Minson. He had 76 yards, and his longest was the 45-yard pass and just 1 touchdown, while Raymond Anderson had 2 passing touchdowns.
Both coaches here in this game have been coaching since 2013. We'll get more to that after a break and be back shortly. Once again, Nathaniel Finch, Colin Marth, and Maggie Michael from Lucas Oil Stadium, and we'll be back right after this.
School sports teach important life lessons, like the best offense is a good defense.
If that's true, then we can win this battle against the pandemic by defending ourselves and each other from COVID-19. So let's wash our hands, always wear a mask, get a flu shot, and practice social distancing.
We'll not only be protecting ourselves, we'll also be protecting our teammates and friends, our moms and dads, our grandmas and grandpas.
Let's play tough defense, and we'll win this battle. I'm Sandra Walter.
And I'm Robert Falkins. We're Assistant Commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Thank you for supporting the high schools in your community.
This is respect. This is cooperation. This is individual responsibility. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back here from Lucas Oil Stadium. Nathaniel, Colin, and Maggie with you for WBTV Sports. And the Stars sporting their head coach, Coach Justin Pelly. He's been with the team since 2013 and really brought this program up to where they are now, culminating in the last 3 years, ending here in this final week at Lucas Oil Stadium. Coach Pelly, 77-23 in his time here at Western Boone. This is his first head coaching job. He also coached as an assistant at a few other places, including for his father, Denny Pelly, at Speedway. But Coach Pelly has never been a part of any state games except for the last 3 years, of course. So it's a player, and as the coach's son, he's never been a part. This is the first time these last 3 years he's been able to come to this game. And Pelly's been an excellent coach, especially recently. 4 All-State players each of the last 2 years, 3 each before that. And at this too small a school, you can tell a lot of that, chalk it up to coaching, the way that they develop their Little League system and bringing up these guys when they're young, bringing them up together, and it's really worked out pretty well for him, I'd say. Of course, the Stars finished third in the Sagamore Conference this year, but they've won numerous conference championships since he took over.
The Stars' defensive coordinator, Coach Bruins, has been working as the defensive coordinator since Coach Pelly was hired as a coach. Although he was unsure of the decision to have a coach for both ends of the football, Pelly has said in his own words, it's been a happy marriage since. Coach Bruins has played and coached a total of over 300 games as a graduate of the 1998 runner-up team. He puts in long hours of film and short hours of sleep on top of working his own business endeavors with Bruins Lawn Care. Bruins' son, Cannon, is a freshman player for Western Boone's defense. Last week he proved to be a vital player with a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 1 being for a touchdown, and maybe we can see him practicing at home with Cannon.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, and we've seen him here throughout the last couple years. Cannon's been in junior high, but he's been at all these games. He's been helping out on the sidelines, and it's worked out pretty well, as we can tell, that big week last week. Now looking at Coach Lindsay here for Bishop Luers. He has been here since 2013 as well, 55-48 in his time. So he took over after Luers won those 3 state championships. He took over for his father, Matt Lindsay, who moved on. So now his son is coaching for this team. They started pretty rough, but now, of course, in this game today, they've made a lot of improvement over the last few years. So that 55-48 winning record. Lindsay has been a ball boy player, assistant coach, now head coach here in the state championship game. Of course, this is his first game at Lucas Oil Stadium. Previously, he was at the RCA Dome as a ball boy and a player, and then, of course, he's coached at Lucas Oil a few times. And we mentioned Matt Lindsay, the legendary coach here at Bishop Luers, is his son, and he's been able to bring the tradition along pretty well.
Speaking of the father-son duo, Bishop Luers have 2 coaches that have sons on the team, both assistant coaches. Jeff Stansky, his son Charlie Stansky, plays for the football team, and Norm Kanapke, his son Nelson Kanapke, is a vital player here for the Bishop Luers.
So we mentioned the Stars have a few coaches' sons, and now so do Luers. It's a tradition here for these 2 schools. Let's look at some players to watch. First for Bishop Luers, the quarterback. We mentioned Carson Clark. He's second in the state in passing yards, and he's 10th in the nation. This guy can throw the ball, and he does it very well. He's had an outstanding year, and he is going to be at the helm of this offense, and he's going to be a key to a victory tonight for Luers. As far as the starting running back goes with Raymond Anderson, he has played a very vital role in this team as well, especially as of late. Some of his numbers, 97 attempts. He leads the team, 521 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. And he can also catch the ball, too. 14 catches, 147 yards through the air, and 2 passing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns. He had a 28-yard catch against Pioneer and 71 receiving yards a week ago as well. Clark, we got to him earlier a little bit, but just to highlight those passing numbers, he's 225 for 370, 3,289 passing yards and 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 61% completion percentage. This guy can do it all from the pocket, and he can also run the ball. 64 attempts this year for just 82 yards and 4 touchdowns. But he's definitely, these 2 players going to be key to the offense. And then finally, Krayshawn Menson for this team, the leading receiver with 30 receptions, 524 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns on the year. They've also got a lot of other guys who can catch the ball, multiple players with touchdowns and over 200 receiving yardage. So this is definitely going to be a high-powered offense, and it's going to be key for the Stars to slow them down.
So with Western Boone's players to watch out for, of course, we're going to have Robbie Taylor, who is the player to watch out for the most from Western Boone, most likely, as anytime he's handed the ball, he'll just charge forward and not let anybody stop him. He never disappoints fans. And, although Taylor isn't your typical idea of a running back, he's quick on his feet, and he knows how to jump through any sign of weakness in the opponent's offense, holding 1,645 rushing yards, averaging about 118 yards per game, and holding a total of 19 rushing touchdowns for the season. He is a tank on the field, and once that shoulder shoulders dropped, very little will stop him. Senior wide receiver Connor Garrity, number 85 for the Stars, will be another player to watch out for, holding 847 receiving yards for the season and 11 touchdowns. Garrity has used his height for both defense and offense alike, using his agility as well to avoid and also stay on opponents within offense and defense alike. Once he jumps up to get that ball, nothing is ever going to bring him down. He is an absolute beast when he gets up in the air. Lots of receptions for this season as well. All around, just an amazing player for Western Boone.
And Colin, he has NFL size even. I mean, how many guys in the NFL do you see are 6'4", and here he's a high schooler and he's that same size, so he's definitely dominating not only with talent but also size.
And he's definitely used that these past couple of years, being a great player last year as well, proving to be pivotal in last year's state game here at Lucas Oil. Number 8 for the Stars, Luke Marsh, is another key player for Western Boone, playing the position of wingback. He rushed for 615 yards and 5 touchdowns and received for 3 more. Overall, Marsh is an extremely versatile player who uses his speed and reflexes to avoid anybody in front of him. 22, Casey Baird, the junior for Western Boone, is another player to watch out for, with lots of punt returns being run down the field. We've seen that a couple times these past couple of weeks, really showing us what he can do. 52, Dominic Mitchell had a great deflection last week as well. He was injured last year with an ACL injury, so he didn't really see a lot of action on the field, but he's coming back this year, with a lot of fire and a lot of passion for this game. And Trevor Weekly, number 2 for the Stars, he has 10 tackles on the season, and 10 tackles per game on average. My apologies there. He is a great defensive player for Western Boone as well, so we'll definitely watch out for him tonight.
You mentioned Luke Marsh on defense. He's on pace to break the single-season record for tackles in a season here for Western Boone. Some of the defensive statistics for the Knights: on defense, Raymond Anderson has 54 total tackles so far this year, one of the leading players on his team as well. David Doty, 94 total tackles, 19 quarterback hurries, 3 sacks. He, on the defensive line, is a force, and he also has forced 4 fumbles, recovered 3 of them. Finally, the leading tackler for this team, Mason Daring, 120 total tackles. That's 9 per game, 11 for a loss. He's got a sack, 3 hurries, 2 pass defense, and 2 fumble recoveries. Finally, in the secondary, Braden McInturf, not a whole lot of action tackling-wise, but he's got a touchdown on the year and a couple interceptions as well. He has been a lethal player for this team. We'll take a break and be back shortly from Lucas Oil Stadium. This is WB TV Sports.
More than ever before, the success of this school year depends on teamwork.
And that means all of us, students, parents, teachers, school administrators, and people like you. We've got to be all in, go all out, do all we can all year long to make sure high school students in our communities have a great year.
And that includes following virus protocols and getting a flu shot. Let's trust each other, believe in each other, and get it done. I'm Chris Kaufman, Assistant Commissioner of the IHSAA.
And I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Thank you for supporting the high schools in our communities.
This is cooperation. This is collaboration. This is unity. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
This is a tough time for all of us, and it is an especially tough time for high school students and high school sports.
Let's stick together. Let's listen to each other and support one another. Let's work hard, follow health and safety protocols, always mask up, be sure to get a flu shot, and never get complacent or careless.
If we do, I believe that we will have a great high school sports season. I believe that we will win. I'm Paul Neidig, Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
And I'm Carrie Schludecker, Assistant Commissioner.
On behalf of every high school in Indiana, thank you for your support.
This is commitment. This is self-discipline. This is teamwork. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back here. Nathaniel, Colin, and Maggie with you for WB TV Sports. Let's get into starting lineups presented by the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. For Bishop Luers, the quarterback Carson Clark, we mentioned him, the 6'2", 180-pound junior, number 10 at the quarterback position. Raymond Anderson, number 1, 5'8", 150, the senior running back. At wide receiver, we've got Brody Glenn, 6'1", Johnny Sewell at 6'1", and finally Krayshawn Menson at 5'8", 160 pounds, the smaller slot wide receiver. At tight end, Jaden Hill, 6'1", 230. He's a sophomore. Then on the offensive line at left tackle, George Budbay at 6 foot, 260 pound. He's a junior. Billy O'Connor, left guard, 5'10", 185. The center, Ben Rectinus at 6'4", 340 pound. He's a senior as well. He's their biggest player here on offense. And then at right guard, Brendan Mitchell, 53 is his number, and he's 5'8", 195 pound at the junior. And then finally, the last player on offense here for the Knights is number 61, the right tackle, Foster Johnson, 6 foot, 260 pounds. As for the Western Boone defense, on the defensive line, Clayton Heisong, the defensive end, 6'2", 215, one of the biggest guys on this team. Defensive tackle, 5'9", 235 pound, Perrin Emberton. And then at the defensive end position, Andrew Kopic, he's 5'10", 195 on the sheet, and he's a senior as well. So 2 seniors along the defensive line. To round out the rest of this 3-4 defense, at linebacker, left outside linebacker, the freshman Cannon Bruins, 5'11". Right outside linebacker is Ryan Taylor, the sophomore at 5'10". Linebackers, 5'9", 185, the undersized Luke Marsh. And as we mentioned, he's on pace to break that record for tackles in a season for Western Boone. Trevor Weekly, the sophomore, standout at middle linebacker as well. At the quarterback positions, Connor Garrity, 6'4", at number 85. We mentioned him earlier. Austin Bowman, 6 foot, 185, returning at his corner position, number 84. He's been in and out of the lineup throughout the year, battling injuries and other issues. So now he's back in the lineup, and he's one of the best cover guys that this team has. At safety, a young duo of Josiah Smith, the sophomore, at free safety, and a strong safety, Casey Baird, 5'7", the undersized man as well. We'll get into the next set of starting lineups after this on WBTV Sports.
Choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common. They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here now for the starting lineups on the other side of the ball for Western Boone on offense. Quarterback Elliott Young, the 5'9 junior. Running back Robbie Taylor, the 5'8", 200-pound senior. He's listed as 200 pounds, but I think we can all come to the conclusion that that listing is a bit shy of his actual number. At wide receiver, Garrett Morton, number 80 at 6 foot. Connor Garrity, 6'4", the stud wide receiver. And in the slot and at the wing position, Luke Marsh and Mitch Miller. All along the offensive line, Will Barta, the left tackle, number 65. 5'10", Andrew Kopic, the senior at left guard. Centers, Dane Williamson, 5'10", the junior at right guard. Andrew Foster, number 64, the sophomore at 6'2", 215. Then the right tackle, Zane Sturgis, also a sophomore, 5'10", 175. This is a unit that's played very well in this tournament, the offensive line that they had to mix up throughout the year, and then they've really found their groove and found a good set of guys to play that front five. As for the 4-3 defense here for Fort Wayne, Bishop Luers. Along the defensive line, the 4 guys, the junior Nelson Kanapke, the sophomore Jaden Hill, the stud defensive tackle, 5'11", 190-pound sophomore Devon Doty, and then finally a defensive end, Isaiah Simmons, the 6'2", 200-pound junior. Along the linebacker position, strong side linebacker Mason Daring leads the team in tackles at 5'9", 180. Again, an undersized guy, but it doesn't really matter in that linebacker position as long as you know where the ball is going to be. The middle linebacker, Evan Linker, also one of the leading tacklers for this team, 5'8", 160, the junior. At the weak side linebacker, Sam Keel. And then Antoine Lake at corner, Nick Thompson at the right side corner position, Krayshawn Menson, strong safety, and then Johnny Sewell at the free safety position. And that rounds out the starting lineups presented by Indiana Farm Bureau.
Now looking at some keys to the game. For Western Boone to win this game, they're going to have to use Connor Garrity, the big man, on the short passes to establish the offensive quick. You know, they're a heavy run team, but getting those passing yards and getting those short passes to move forward and pick up the first downs. That's where they really see success. Tonight, they're going to need to get some confidence in the secondary. They have a strong secondary, making sure they're deflecting those passes, perhaps picking them off, getting those linebackers ready to go for the pass-heavy offense. And also utilizing the running back duo of Luke Marsh and Robbie Taylor. They're two different styles, really helpful to throw off the defense and getting Robbie Taylor his style and then switching it up and putting Luke Marsh in. It's going to really confuse the defense, and they're going to see success in that area.
The team's headed out of the tunnels, ready to get this ball kicked off. We got about a minute left before the clock runs 0, and I'm sure it'll take a little bit longer for the kickoff teams to come out, but teams running out of the tunnels. Now let's get some keys to the game for Bishop Luers and the Knights.
So for Bishop Luers, what they're going to want to do today is exploit matchups in the passing game, which would be finding weak spots in defense before the play even begins, not falling behind on the scoreboard, so that way they can keep pressure on Western Boone and try and keep things shaky for them so they don't, constantly do heavy passing or running plays. My apologies there. And they really want to apply pressure on passing downs in order to put pressure on quarterback Elliott Young for the Stars in crucial situations. Elliott Young this season, has played as a great quarterback, but he really does not handle pressure too well, and that's something that a lot of teams, I'm sure, have been wanting to take advantage of. Bishop Luers being no exception here today. Trying to charge him as much as they can and just try and get him to throw that ball out there, possibly trying to get interceptions as well tonight. And Bishop Luers is a very pass-efficient team, and they've shown exponential amounts of versatility on both sides of the football with a decent rushing games and great runs from number 2, Sir Hale, who averages around 73 yards for each game. Quarterback number 10, Carson Clark, for Bishop Luers, has thrown over 3,200 passing yards, holding a completion rate of around 60% and averaging 235 passing yards a game. And their wide receiver, number 6, Brody Glenn, averaging about 91 receiving yards for every game.
Still waiting on kickoff coming up shortly. The Knights just ran out of the tunnel. The socially distant crowd headed out into their seats. Had a problem at the gate, so I'm sure that is going into the reasons why this game's a little bit delayed, but it's no problem. We'll be back in just 30 seconds and get right back to coverage of the 2A state championship football game, Western Boone versus Bishop Luers from Fort Wayne, right here on WBTV Sports.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here to South Capitol Avenue. That's the temperature-controlled Lucas Oil Stadium here in the Dome, where the Western Boone Stars on their sideline waiting for the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers Knights. Both teams will head out onto the field here shortly in a pretty big game, obviously, what would be the third straight state championship game for the Stars. And then we mentioned earlier, Bishop Luers leads the state in these appearances, and all of those state championship appearances, all 16 of them came in the class of 2A. The Stars will move up to Class 3A a year from now. And a couple years ago, Coach Pelly for Western Boone, after the conclusion of that first state championship run, his wife said, hey, no more 15-week seasons. It was killing her not to be able to see him as often, of course. And he says, don't worry, Jenny, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Sure enough, the next year they got back. Jenny says, all right, now this has to be the last time with these 15-week seasons. He says, I promise you, we've got a young team next year. We're losing we're losing all the seniors, a lot of good players. He said, there's no way we're going to go back. And sure enough, here are the Stars with their record of 10-4. Of course, he had to tell his wife this time that, well, I promise you, we won't be in the 2A state finals a year from now because, of course, we're moving up to 3A. So anything's possible in the eyes of Coach Pelly. As for Kyle Lindsay and his outfit, of course, 3-6 in the regular season, and then they've won 5 straight. 8-6 is their record coming into this game. 2 unranked teams in the class of 2A meeting together in this state championship affair.
Mrs. Pelly almost cursing herself there with that same idea of, no more 15-week games. Hopefully today for her. She's thinking, oh, maybe we'll be 3 times lucky, and hopefully Pelly is thinking the same thing going into the state championship today. We'll see what the Stars can do, and we'll see if they're going to get that championship title again for the third year in a row today, or if they will be going home as the runner-ups like they did back in 1998.
Lucas Oil Stadium, of course, the host of this game now. The captain's heading onto the field, so still some time before the kickoff begins. The Stars walking along the 45-yard line to the right of us, and then the Knights wearing black on the 45-yard line to the left. So plenty of space in between the two of them. The Stars wearing their all-white jerseys with the red pants, the same that they've worn the last 2 years in this game. We mentioned we're here at Lucas Oil Stadium, the place that replaced the RCA and Hoosier Dome in 2007. This is known as the house that Manning built, of course, with all the work that Peyton Manning did throughout his time as a Colt. This stadium can seat around 67,000 people, but of course, way less than that are going to be in today. The capacity for the Colts game last week against Packers was 12,500, and you can imagine likely are going to have about 2,000 to 4,000 would be my guess spread around the stadium today.
And, watching this crowd out here compared to these last couple of years, because I came as a fan as the Western Boone Stars came back here for state last year as well. Much bigger crowds simply just because we didn't have COVID-19 around. There weren't any restrictions on the crowds. So, sometimes you just got to wonder if this is going to affect the game in any way for the Stars or for Bishop Luers. It's almost eerie looking out here, the normally packed stands for Western Boone, almost empty to fans.
And of course, there's more fans out there now than there would be for a typical game, but they're spread out along this big stadium we mentioned with that 67,000 capacity. So pretty interesting. We're about to get away with kickoff. The Knights will kick the ball off first. The ball is on the far hash mark. We've got 4 hash marks here today. Of course, the inside 2, typically what we're going to see the Stars play, or the football teams play on today. So kicking from left to right, the black-wearing Knights. The kicker, Roll Pineda, standing right around the 30-yard line, ready to get this one away. The ball's at the 40. Back to return, Casey Baird and Luke Marsh for Western Boone.
Casey Baird we've seen with a decent amount of returns.
Here comes the kick. That'll be kicked around right to the middle of the field at the 5-yard line. Marsh is going to return this one, find some open guys down to the 34 to the 33-yard line. And a nice return there from Marsh, who just simply went right up the gut of this return team. And the Stars will be set out right around the 33-yard line.
We can probably see a lot of that from Marsh and most likely Casey Baird alike today. Getting those returns and just hustling down the field as quickly as possible. They typically stop around that 30-yard line.
Stars going to start on offense at the 33-yard line. Under center is Elliott Young. The running back is Robbie Taylor. Man in motion was Miller. We had to move some guys around on the offensive line. Now we're good to go. Under center is Young. Handoff right side with Taylor. Taylor wrapped up, pushes forward, gains 2 yards on the play. Gets to about the 34-yard line.
Taylor with his size, normally if you had a smaller, faster running back, he would have gotten stopped about a yard in, just not quite as far as Taylor did, but with his size, he's able to push forward and pick up an extra yard or 2 each time.
He got about 5 yards in that play, all the way over to the 37. Now from under center once again is the Stars offense with the junior Elliott Young, man of motions Marsh. It'll be another handoff. A quarterback keeper now with some room out to the 40-yard line, and it was a handoff to Robbie Taylor, but there was nobody touching him for at least 15 yards, and he gets all the way to his opponent's 40-yard line. What a play by the running back Taylor. Just a simple handoff, and this defense is social distancing.
And I mentioned earlier Robbie Taylor being surprisingly quick on his feet for his build, not a typical running back. Right there, he was able to just jump through a gap, that Western Boone's O-line had made for him, and he just was able to rush through and, get that heavy yardage there.
On the tackle was the free safety, Johnny Sewell. Now at the 41-yard line of the opponent from the pistol formation is Young. Taylor, the running back. It'll be a quarterback keeper, actually some confusion, and the quarterback gets about a couple yards running from right to left.
That's a play we saw a little bit of last week against Mater Dei, something that the Stars typically didn't do, that being the quarterback keeper. But it did prove to serve them very well last week, trying to throw off Mater Dei, just expecting handoffs to Robbie Taylor over and over. Elliot Young getting a touchdown last week.
Yeah, and that time Young just went and turned it the wrong way. The running back, Taylor, was on the right side. He turned to the left. We're going to see a formation under center with a one wing, two wide receivers set to the far side. Another handoff to Taylor, and Taylor will push forward. He gets near the first down before the line pushes him down, right about 1.5 yards shy of it. That ball set at the 32-yard line of the Knights, and a good offensive start here, but we've got 3rd down and 1.
I'll say it time and time again, his size, Robbie Taylor's size, helps him so much. He's able, the whole team was there, and he was still pushing forward. Everyone else was helping, but he was in the center, not falling down, and they didn't blow the whistle. Clearly, he was still going forward.
9.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. The Stars on their opening drive from under center once again with his heavy set formation. Taylor, the running back, with his hand in the dirt. He gets the handoff, comes to the near side, and gets the first down and about 2 more. Ball down at the 28-yard line of the Knights. Moves the chain, sets up first down, and pretty good territory for the Stars.
Taylor there for these past couple of plays has just been carrying multiple guys, something that he has always done. And I think last week I mentioned he carries people like a backpack whenever he can.
He's got a rush of 5, a rush of 4, and a rush of 21. The last 4 plays all went to him, aside from the one quarterback keeper. Now from the pistol, it'll be a throw to the near side, and it's incomplete, intended for Connor Garrity. In on coverage was Johnny Sewell, as well as a couple other Knights, and that'll be incomplete. Bring up 2nd down and 10. The Stars trying to go for a quick slant.
I'm pretty sure Colin said it earlier that Young, he needs some time to think. He doesn't do very well under pressure there. We could see that he had pressure in his face, so he tried to get the short pass off. It would have worked if there was a little more time to develop, but with the pressure, he went ahead and threw an ill-advised pass, which was deflected.
8:54 up on the clock. Ball at the 28-yard line of the Knights. Moving from right to left is this offense of the Stars. It'll be another handoff with another open hole. Robbie Taylor trips and gets about 5 yards near the 21. And he had plenty of open room, wasn't really contacted until he got 4 or 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. A nice run by Robbie Taylor before he tripped to the ground.
A Mater Dei player there basically just ran right into Robbie, but it looked more like Robbie was trying to stop him than the other way around. Robbie just using his side to, completely tank anybody who stands in his way.
We'll give the tackle to Krayshawn Menson. Now from the 21-yard line near the red zone. Hand in the dirt. Taylor is the running back. He gets the handoff up the middle, pushes forward. He'll be stopped after just a yard gained, and that'll set up 4th down, and 2. Do the Stars kick the field goal here? Do they try to go for it? Looks like they bring in an extra blocker. They're going to try to run this one up. It's 4th and 2 from the 20-yard line.
The Stars here probably not wanting to risk any sort of chance that Bishop can try and get against them here.
From the 19-yard line now, 4th and 2 is Western Boone. 7:48 up on the clock. Heavy set formation. Man in motion. It'll be a handoff to Taylor, and Taylor pushes forward and gets plenty more for the first down inside the 15-yard line of the 14. Moves the chains and gains 5.
Taylor's having a huge game today. He's seen most of the touches tonight, and it's showing that because he's getting success each time, and he's just going forward and pushing through this defense with no problem.
6 carries for 44 yards on this opening drive. The only person to touch the ball is the quarterback, Young, who's got a 4-yard rush of his own. Now from the 19-yard line, 1st and 10. Heavy set formation once again. The running back, Taylor, with his hand in the dirt. The left tackle in motion now to the other side of the line. It'll be another handoff, but this time stopped for a loss. He lunged forward and gained 3 yards somehow. He was met at the line of scrimmage, was the running back Taylor, and just lunged forward and fell for an extra few yards. What a gain there on first down. Sets up 2nd and 7 from the 11-yard line.
Taylor throughout every game just gets better and better as the day goes on. And, he's starting off so strong right now. I mean, just an amazing game from him just in this first quarter. So I really want to see where it goes from here.
We're tied at 0 on the opening drive. 6:42 up on the clock. 2nd and 7 from the 11. Once again with heavy set formation, just one wide receiver set out. It'll be a handoff to the near side. Taylor barrels forward and gets near the first down line. It'll be about 2 yards shy to the 11, running from right to left, and a nice play by Taylor, but that sets up 3rd down and 2. A nice run there. We'll count the tackle. 3 different guys here for this Luers team. Leading the charge was Johnny Sewell. With some contact at the end was Krayshawn Menson. A nice gang tackling effort there to bring down the 200-plus pound running back. Now same formation, heavy set. Taylor is the running back. Young takes a step back to the line of scrimmage. He goes from under center with a heavy set. He's looking to throw to the end zone to Garrity, and Garrity caught it. They give it to him. There's a flag on the play, but they're going to call it a touchdown.
Garrity there, coming into this game, very fiery, ready to make any receptions that he can there. Right there, just showing us what he can do under a lot of pressure there.
That pass interference called against the defense. The call will stand. And the Stars will give the touchdown through the air. The goal line fade everyone thought was dead, but here is the 6'4" wide receiver. All Young had to do was just throw it up in the area, and he did the rest. What a play on the far corner of the end zone. Here in the Colts end zone. Now ready to kick the ball. The kicker, Josiah Smith. Holder is Durbin, and the long snapper, Luke Marsh. The kick is up in the air, and it goes through the uprights at a point, 7-0 with 5:49 to go. The opening drive successful for Western Boone, ending in that touchdown to Connor Garrity, but doing most of the work on the ground was Robbie Taylor.
Looking at that catch there by Connor Garrity, I really didn't think he was going to be able to get it just because he had number 24 for Bishop there just on him the entire time. But, as I mentioned earlier, he knows how to use his agility and his height to his advantage, getting deep into the end zone and getting that ball almost like it was nothing, falling down with it as he typically does, going on his back, almost as a safety kind of precaution to keep that ball in his grip.
The 6-yard touchdown through the air, a successful drive. Robbie Taylor with 9 attempts for 57 yards. And if the Stars have their way today, we're going to see a lot of Robbie Taylor and some Luke Marsh as well on the ground. This is what the Stars do. Their bread and butter is running the ball. A quick break here, and we'll be back in 30 on WB TV Sports.
Believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Here, welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium. The Stars with that opening drive marched down most of the length of the field. That was 12 plays, 67 yards. And we've got 5:49 up on the clock waiting for the kickoff to come from Josiah Smith and this Western Boone team. Back to return for the Knights. Coming up soon will be Davon Doty and Krayshawn Menson.
Yeah, the Stars wasted no time on their first drive. They had huge success with the rush game. Hopefully next drive we'll see a little more of the short passes and the rush game, so they're not just stopped up before the defense can tell, they're just going to rush each time and block the middle. So getting that variety in there for the Stars is how they're going to get successful on their very next drive.
That drive, 10 rushing attempts and 2 passing attempts. 1 for 2 is the quarterback, Elliott Young, with the 6-yard touchdown pass. And now the team's lining up for the kickoff. The Stars will kick from right to left and back to return around the 8 or 9 yard line. Here are the Knights, Davon Doty and Krayshawn Menson. Josiah Smith, the son of Hunter Smith, the former Colts punter and Washington football team punter. The ball's down at the 40-yard line. It goes off the leg of Smith and squibs it. An onside opportunity, but it appears that Luers got on the ball. An interesting way to start this. It seemed to be by design, but the ball will retain in possession of the Knights. Will be placed around the 44-yard line of their own. And now it's up on the Stars defense to make the stop.
We see the squib kick from Josiah Smith a lot. More times they're afraid that the team that they're playing against is going to get a huge return. So rather than having them return it for a touchdown or the possibility of returning it for a touchdown, they take the good fieldage and give them no return, basically.
That one, though, was a design onside kick. It appeared now out of the gun with 2 wide receivers on each side of the spread formation. The quarterback looking to throw. The lefty, Clark, throws this one deep down in the middle of the field. It's incomplete. Pass interference, it appears, because the flag's thrown around the 30-yard line. But that would have been one deep throw if it was completed. Instead, we'll wait and see what the flag is, but it's likely going to be against the Stars defense.
Number 8 there, Luke Marsh, just jumped through the O-line, really getting to the quarterback as quickly as he could. Of course, he wasn't fast enough before the throw, but, just great speed from him there.
Sure enough, pass interference will be called against the defense at 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. And now Luers all of a sudden in great position as they place the ball on the Western Boone 41-yard line. In plus territory is this team after that 15-yard penalty. Led by this offense coming out in their spread formation out of the gun. The lefty with the lefty quarterback Carson Clark out of the gun. It'll be a handoff up the middle. And now bouncing out to the far side as Sewell steps out of bounds. Gets about 9 yards in a nice play. The speed by Johnny Sewell, who's the wide receiver lined up in the backfield. But it appears there might have been a flag on the play. Sure enough, that'll be holding against this Luers team, and that'll back them up. So negate the 9-yard gain. They'll lose 10 yards instead. The ball placed just on the Luers side of the 50-yard line on the near hash. The offense moving from left to right. Now the trips formation to the far side, the open side of the field, out of the gun with the one wide receiver to the near side is Sewell. Here's Clark from the shotgun, another handoff. This time it's to the running back Anderson, who stopped and gains just 2. Gets it to the Western Boone side of the field, but the 2-yard carry takes him to the Stars 48.
Interesting play there from the Knights. That handoff over to number 11, I believe.
Number 1, Raymond Anderson.
Number 1, my apologies there.
And now from the spread formation, Clark's in the gun, the number 2 leading passer in the state of Indiana. The lefty looking to throw to the middle of the field. That's caught with the reception. Now running down to the 20-yard line inside the 15 to the right at the 15-yard line. What a play by the wide receiver, Brody Glenn.
Brody Glenn is one of those Luers players that I had mentioned earlier to watch out for the Stars defense. He had a great catch there, really showing what the receiving game is for Bishop.
The 33-yard reception now. Another handoff goes up the middle to Anderson, who's stopped and slammed to the ground by Luke Marsh. The ball now around the 11-yard line of Western Boone, a gain of 4.
Luke Marsh, he's a super fiery player, so when you get a big play like after that, you can tell that Luke Marsh is going to be there to stop the next play. He wants to be the main contributor, and he is more times than not. So after a big play, you can expect Luke Marsh to get the next one.
From the gun, the 11-yard line, second down and medium, thrown to the end zone. He's got a man open. It's incomplete over the hands, the outstretched hands in the beginning of the end zone of the wide receiver, Johnny Sewell. That'll set up 3rd down and 6. 4:03 up on the clock in the first quarter. It's been a quick drive for Luers. After the 33-yard reception by Glenn, an incomplete pass, and then just the 4-yard rush. Now we see 3rd down and 6. From the 11-yard line, out of the gun with an extra blocker in at tight end. Looking to throw once again is Clark. Clark to the near side. Clark to the end zone. Clark for a touchdown. Brody Glenn scores his first touchdown of this state championship game, and the score stands 6-7, pending the PAT. 3:58 to go in the first quarter. The 11-yard touchdown pass from the left hand of Carson Clark to the outstretched arms of Brody Glenn on the near side of the Indianapolis end zone. On the north side of the field, here comes the PAT, up and in by Pineda. And now the score tied at 7. We're going to see plenty of fireworks today. the first of 3 state championship games to be played today. We'll take a quick break and recap that drive right after this on WBTV Sports.
Why all the love? Why do we think you're number one?
Because as high school athletes, we know there is no us without you.
We know that when you buy a ticket to see an IHSAA game or meet, you're helping pay for new uniforms, safer equipment, or even a bus ride to the game.
But we also know what you're really saying is, I believe in you. I believe you could be somebody.
When you think about all of the opportunities your attendance at an IHSAA athletic event creates,
and the fact that you paid for your ticket,
well, fantastic doesn't begin to describe how we feel about you.
High school sports.
You pay,
we play.
Everybody wins.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Welcome back here to Lucas Oil Stadium. The three of us, Nathaniel, Colin, and Maggie, sitting in the press box nearest Alabama Street. And that drive from Fort Wayne Bishop Luers ended in the 7 points. It only took 6 plays, 56 yards, and just under 2 minutes to play there in that first drive for this team.
We're seeing one of the keys that I talked about for Luers, trying to keep that pressure over the Western Boone defense and on the offense, of course, as well, trying to keep that score close to make sure that the offense isn't going to, just keep doing the same rushing play over and over and over again. Something that we saw last week against Modern Day. The Stars really just handing it off to Robbie basically with every play. Robbie getting 4 touchdowns for that night on his own. The only other touchdown was by quarterback Elliott Young. Or only other offensive touchdown, I should say, was by Elliott Young, the quarterback, with the quarterback keeper, just charging down the field. And then the other touchdown for that night was, of course, by Cannon Bruins, the freshman defensive lineman.
These teams headed back out to the field. The Stars back to return with the 2 returners, Casey Baird and Luke Marsh. Marsh had the last return. He's standing at the far hash mark. The kick will be from left to right, going south to north. The kicker, Roel Pineda, ready to kick the ball away. It's set down at the 40-yard line, the far hash mark. The Stars took their time on their opening drive. Luers only needed 2 minutes. There's 3:58 to go in the first. We'll see how long the Stars drive takes. Here's the kick. The whistle's blown dead, though. It was a short kick, returned around the 30-yard line, but no matter, there's a penalty flag on the field. They're going to call it. Marsh from the 10. Marsh at the 15, up the middle to the 20 to the 25 with an open hole at the 30. Now 35-40. Marsh brought down inside the 45-yard line. What a return. Takes it to the 43. Luke Marsh with his second return today. And what a nice kickoff return from the linebacker and running back Luke Marsh.
Marsh, he has so much speed. He was able to get there and get to almost the 30 before he even met with anybody else. So once he got to the 30, he saw a huge hole and then took it to gain about 10 more yards. Just the speed on the kickoff return is what's going to help the Stars get themselves set up with great field position.
There's a 55-yard kick, a 33-yard return. The Stars set up now at the 43-yard line of their own. It'll be a handoff to Marsh. Marsh gets it upfield and lands right in the middle of the Colts helmet, right at the 50-yard line. He gets a nice gain of about 7 yards. 2nd down and 3 coming up next.
That was one of my keys to the game for Western Boone, is that they needed to get and utilize the dynamic duo between Marsh and Robbie Taylor, because Luke Marsh there clearly threw off the defense and was able to pick up some yardage with his speed rather than Taylor with his size.
The 11th run today from Western Boone. They're at the 50-yard line, right in the middle of the field at the Colts helmet. Marsh in motion. It's a toss out to him to the far side. Marsh is brought down, slammed, but still gains 2 yards and is about a few inches shy of the line of gain. So we'll see 3rd down and inches. Go ahead.
Sorry there, Nathaniel. Marsh there really being an agile player as he has for this entire season, just using his speed and his agility to just jump through anybody that he can and running around the O-line or D-line rather than running through it like Taylor normally does.
2:47 up on the clock, 3rd and 1 from the 48-yard line with a heavy set formation. The lone receiver at the near side is Garrity. The running back's Taylor. He gets the handoff. He gets the first down and more, chugs forward and gains 6 or 7 yards near the 41-yard line of the opponent, Bishop Luers. The chains move, 1st down and 10 coming up next. It's a nice run there by Taylor. Took it off the left tackle, was wrapped up, but still chugged forward. A nice play by Taylor to move the chains. From the 41.5 is the Stars offense with 2 extra blockers now. It'll be a handoff to the near side. The counter from the wingback, Luke Marsh. Marsh chugs forward, is pushed about 5 or 6 yards. We'll set up 2nd down and medium, but the ball gets to the 36-yard line.
Marsh there proving once again his agility, jumping right through a little gap that he saw, fitting through quite easily and, pushing forward just a little bit more than, what he would have been able to if that gap wasn't present and if he had not noticed it.
1:45 left in the first from the 36-yard line of the Knights. The Stars moving right to left, 2 wide receivers set and some extra blockers as well. Taylor, the running back, with his hand in the dirt. He gets the handoff, goes from left to right now, and is stopped. Only gains a yard. 3rd down and 3. Up next, gets it inside the 35, though, to the 34-yard line. Go ahead.
Sorry there, Nathaniel. We can already see a very rush-heavy game from Western Boone. Only a couple passes for the night or for the day. This is going to be prove pivotal for them today.
Here we go, 3rd down and 2. Now from the 34-yard line, heavy set. It'll be a handoff to Taylor. Taylor pushes forward and once again moves the chains inside the 30 to the 29. And Taylor can't be stopped so far this game. He's got almost 70 yards rushing today, exactly right at 70. 12 attempts, 70 yards, 5.8 yards per carry. And this team, only 2 passing attempts so far today. They've been running the ball, running up the clock. It's down to 40 seconds left right now in this first quarter. And if that's any indication, this is what the Stars would like to do all game long, just run the ball over and over. Everybody lined up at the far hash mark from the 29-yard line. Looking to throw now is the screen to Luke Marsh. Marsh tries to maneuver his way but gets out of bounds. Gains about 2 or 3 yards on the quick screen, the wide receiver bubble, and gets it to the 26-yard line of the Bishop Luers Knights.
The Stars here, Luke Marsh there trying to once again use his speed to his advantage, but because he doesn't have that same kind of build that Robbie Taylor does, he was knocked over a little bit easier than Taylor probably would have been.
That will end the first quarter of play here in the 2A football state championship game. The Stars tied up, but with the ball, 7-7 the score against the Bishop Luers Knights of Fort Wayne, and we'll be back shortly right after this on WB TV Sports.
Important life lessons, like the best offense is a good defense.
If that's true, then we can win this battle against the pandemic by defending ourselves and each other from COVID-19. So let's wash our hands, always wear a mask, get a flu shot, and practice social distancing.
We'll not only be protecting ourselves, we'll also be protecting our teammates and friends, our moms and dads, our grandmas and grandpas.
Let's play tough defense, and we'll win this battle. I'm Sandra Walter.
And I'm Robert Falkins. We're Assistant Commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Thank you for supporting the high schools in your community.
This is respect. This is cooperation. This is individual responsibility. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back here. Nathaniel Finch, Colin Marth, and Maggie Michael for WB TV Sports on the radio call today from the press box up high at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Stars will flip field position now, so they'll have the ball going from left to right now from the 26-yard line of their opponent nearing that red zone. And it's a team that took over 10 minutes time of possession over that first half of play, or first quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of rushing here from the Stars, and it's really serving them well so far. Lots of short yard gains here, but that's something that they've always taken pride of in their seasons previously, and this season as well, just getting those little short inches whenever they can, and then trying to get those bigger plays in, when they need to. It's, really just something great you see here from the Stars.
The thing for Western Boone, they want to run the ball over and over and over again, but if they get behind on the scoreboard, then they can get into some trouble. So they got to make sure to score on this drive and be very efficient when they're running the ball. They can take up as much time as they want, but if they fall behind on the scoreboard, we're going to have to see a lot more passes. It's going to come down to their defense, though. If their defense can make a few stops and get ahead on the scoreboard, this game is all but over. But Bishop Luers, as quick as they can score, it took them less than 2 minutes that last time, just a few quick passes and going downfield once. This should be a very good game, and if this first quarter doesn't tell you that at 7-7, the Stars now with the ball on offense with a heavy set formation. Garrity, the lone wide receiver on the far side to the near side. Hash mark is this offense. It'll be a handoff to Robbie Taylor. Robbie lowers his shoulder and gains 2 or 3. That'll set up 3rd down and 3 coming up here next. A gain of 4 on the play, and we've seen so many of those from Robbie Taylor today.
Robbie there dropping his shoulder and just tanking through, making sure nobody can stop him at all. Typically 3, 4, or even 5 guys on him to, get him down whenever he has that ball in his hands.
A player that had 3 touchdowns here at this stadium a year ago in his reserve role behind Brett Wellington, but Robbie Taylor is coming to his own this year. Once again, another heavy set formation. It'll be a quarterback pitch over to Mitch Miller. Miller to the 20-yard line, lowers his shoulder, gains the first down on the far side of the field, and gets a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Moves the chains, and that's the first carry of the day. That time on the option play, the pitch over to Mitch Miller.
That was a great call for the Stars offense. They faked it out to Taylor, and everybody followed him because, it takes a pack to take him down. And so while they did that, the pitch out to Miller, there was only 1 or 2 guys there, and he took him on head on and then picked up a couple more yards once they had contact with him.
4 players have run the ball for the Stars today for a total of 100 yards, just under 20 carries. They have dominated so far on the ground. Man in motion, it'll be a handoff to the right side with Robbie Taylor. Robbie has some room but falls and is tripped up right before that first down line. He'll be inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, and we'll see 2nd down and 1.
Something funny about Taylor, anytime he's knocked down to the ground, he'll be back up on his feet like it was nothing within, 5 seconds of the play. Just a very, very versatile player on the field.
Now another heavy set formation. Taylor, of course, the running back. Man in motion's Miller. Some movement up front, but nothing called. Resetting the play at the line of scrimmage from under center is Young, the quarterback. It'll be a handoff right side. Swallowed up and only gains a yard. That will be enough for the first down, though, as Robbie Taylor was met at the line of scrimmage, and he just willed his way for a first down.
Another really great play there by Robbie Taylor. Once again, just inching forward whenever the Stars can. Just something they've always used, something that has always served them well these past couple seasons. This season as well, we've seen a lot of that, especially last week and the week before against Heritage Christian and Modern Day.
Nelson Knapke gets the tackle, but still enough for a first down now with some extra blockers. Once again, looking to throw to the near side, throws it. Oh, it's dropped by Robbie Taylor. And what would have gained about half of what it needed to the end zone. We'll see 2nd down and 10, the second incompletion from the quarterback, Young, today. And that one just bounced right off the hands of the running back, Robbie Taylor. Seemed to be a little overthrown as Taylor had to turn around for it. Nevertheless, 2nd down and goal here from the 7-yard line. Run formation. It will be a run to the right side off the guard and stopped again, but rolls forward. And how did Robbie Taylor gain 4 yards that time? To the 3. What an impressive run by the big running back. Met by 2 separate Knights, and he just pushed his way forward. That time, Nelson Knapke and David Dowdy.
Just like I had mentioned there earlier, Nathaniel, any time that Robbie has the ball, it'll take at least 3, 4, or even 5 guys to stop him. 2 usually just is not enough.
Another run formation. It will be a run to the right side. Same play. Robbie Taylor into the end zone and scores the touchdown for Western Boone in the Indianapolis side of the end zone. Adds 6 to the score, 13-7 with 9:04 to go in the second quarter. And Robbie Taylor off the right guard does everything himself.
With Taylor's size, there was a bunch of people there, but he was able to just push through them and truck into the end zone in a spot where normally a running back couldn't have done that.
Smith, the kicker, Durbin, the holder, and the snappers, Luke Marsh. The ball will be snapped right down at the 10-yard line. The PAT is up. The PAT is through. No, excuse me, that's missed. That could come back and be huge for this Stars team, but 13-7 remains the score. 9:04 left to go in this second quarter.
That play there from Robbie Taylor for that touchdown was really interesting. You could see a lot of the defenders from Bishop jump over as they saw that he had the ball, trying to stop him right before the end zone, but it was not enough. It almost looked like that number 21 for the Bishop Luers almost pushed him into the end zone a little bit, adding a little bit of an advantage there for Taylor, who probably would have gotten it anyway. I mean, let's not even lie. It's not hard for Taylor to get into the end zone at all.
The 3-yard touchdown from Robbie Taylor, his first rushing touchdown of the day, and a drive that took 14 plays, 57 yards, and most importantly, almost 7 minutes of time off the clock. This Stars team just trying to control time of possession as they have today. They've controlled all but 2 minutes so far, and now we're waiting for the second drive to start here for this Bishop Luers offense.
We'll have to see how Bishop Luers handles, this increased score here by Western Boone, wanting to keep that pressure on Western Boone to try and keep those rushing plays to a minimum. So far, not really proving to do anything, as Weibo is just rushing over and over again, something we have seen time and time and time again. Just an amazing idea here, from Western Boone, just to keep that rushing game going no matter what, not even trying, honestly, to trip up any of their opponents these past couple of weeks. And we've seen a couple of passing plays from Western Boone just to try and at least trip up their opponents a little bit, just everybody knowing how heavy of a rushing team they are. But they don't even stop their rushing game. They don't hesitate. It's not a situation of, okay, let's not rush because they're going to be expecting it. It's always just, yeah, we're going to rush. Yeah, we're going to send in Taylor, because who's going to stop him?
Nobody can stop Taylor. We're in the middle of a TV timeout, but the players headed out to kick off now. Josiah Smith, the kicker for Western Boone, and back to return here shortly will likely be for Fort Wayne, David Dowdy and Krayshawn Menson. But we'll see what kind of formation they deploy, because the Stars, of course, attempted that onside kick. They appear to be in more of an onside return type play. They've got 5 guys along the first line, right around the 45-yard line of their own, 3 guys along the 30-yard line, and only 1 back to return. And that's Doty. We'll see how this kick goes. From Taylor, it goes over to Doty, the last man standing. No, it will be returned to the near side now at the 25, the 30-yard line. Menson gets it right around the 29-yard line. I didn't see Menson standing there, so they did have 2 guys back to return. They went to Menson.
Western Boone, they're trying to stop him before he could get to that 29-yard line. He was able to kind of jump to his right a little bit to avoid some of the Western Boone players. A very impressive play there, honestly, for that punt return. Getting down to where he is at the 29-yard line. It was pretty impressive, I got to say.
Now from the 29-yard line of their own, the drive starting from right to left is this Knights offense wearing their black from the gun with the spread formation. The quarterback, Carson Clark, has had 7 minutes since he last had the ball. Throws this one deep downfield. He's got a man open, and it will be caught out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The catch once again by Glenn, and this offense moving the ball in chunks so far today. What a play and what a throw by Carson Clark.
Connor Garrity there really trying to stay on Clark there. As I mentioned earlier, as a defender, number 85 for the Stars, Garrity always uses his agility to his advantage, trying to stay on.
Back to the line of scrimmage after that big play. It'll be a handoff to Anderson, who will be stopped for a loss, losing 7 yards on the play. Clayton Heisong, the first man into the backfield, and stops Raymond Anderson right in his tracks, and he'll lose yardage on the counter play. Just simply couldn't outrun the defensive end rushing from the right side of the line of scrimmage. So after the 30-yard pass completed, that time they'll lose 7. Second down, they'll lose 5, they'll say. Second and 15. The sweep goes for 5, and add a couple extra yards after that. The 7-yard sweep gains back most of what was lost, and +2 after that. Third down and 8 coming up here next. That was the handoff to Anderson.
The Stars, they were able to get there quickly on defense after that huge play that they gave up. It's starting to click for them, and they're seeing where the ball is and getting there quicker than they have been before.
From the gun, an extra tight end in on the line of scrimmage. Other than that, 3 wide receivers and a running back looking to throw. Clark has some room to run. He will be maybe intercepted. No, they'll call that incomplete, and correctly so. It was thrown near the 20-yard line. No wide receiver in the area, just simply overthrew, it appeared, and went just off the hands of Connor Garrity and bounced on the ground.
Lots of pressure there on the quarterback for Bishop, number 10, Carson Clark. Not able to handle it very well, almost sending it straight to Connor Garrity.
4th and 7, going forward at their own, at the Stars' 38-yard line. A huge play for this offense, trying to keep up the pressure, not fall behind on the scoreboard. Looking to throw is Clark. Clark steps up in the pocket, throws this one deep downfield. It is caught, moving the chains with Glenn once again to the 16-yard line. An impressive play from the quarterback, Carson Clark. Stepped up in the pocket and threw it to his man who's been open all day today, Brody Glenn.
Western Boone here looking for any chance to try and keep Bishop from getting to that end zone, really needing to tighten their defensive game, especially on the receivers, as we've seen it kind of loose out there so far.
At the line of scrimmage again, going quickly. It's this offense. It'll be another handoff, this time to the left side, cutting up to the middle. Now bouncing out to the far side. Raymond Anderson walks into the end zone untouched and scores on the far side. Raymond Anderson has been struggling all day on the ground, but this time he finds some room and bounces it to the end zone for 6.
Really outstanding play there. Just great moves overall by Raymond Anderson. Very agile out there, spinning around one of the defenders for Western Boone straight into the end zone. Nobody could keep up with him there.
Finds the end zone after a 16-yard rush, and that drive took only a minute 45. Once again, moving the ball in chunks. Now the kickoff from Pineda is in, and the Bishop Luers team has a 1-point advantage over the Stars, 14-3 the score, 7:14 to go here in the second quarter. We'll be back in 60 to recap what happened on that drive right here on WB TV Sports.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Indiana did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Welcome back here to Lucas Oil Stadium. Nathaniel, Colin, and Maggie right here with you for WB TV Sports. The drive only lasted 1:45, but nevertheless 71 yards the distance traveled, and only in 6 plays here for this Bishop Luers team. They're ahead now 14-13 with 7:14 to go here in the second period, awaiting the kickoff.
Bishop Luers on offense, they're wasting no time to get into the end zone. They're not a team that's going to sit there and run down the clock. They're a team that's going to aim for the end zone every single time, and clearly they're having success with that. They're getting those big passing plays and then bouncing them back with the running plays. So they're a very dynamic offense, and they're wasting no time, and you can expect to see that all day today.
Ready to kick off is Roll Pineda from the 40-yard line will be the spot of the ball. Standing at the 10-yard line for the Stars are two returners, Luke Marsh and Casey Baird. This time the kickoff going from right to left, north to south. And the kickoff is up and on the 7. And what a play. This time the quarterback, Young, had pressure all in his face all throughout the whole drive and just moved around and would not be denied the first down. What a play. It was a fake toss. He ran to the near side, had to cut up field and run back to the far side and throw to his left. The right-handed quarterback gets it done. And, of course, his receiver, Luke Marsh, does the rest. First down and 10 now from the 46-yard line. 3:41 up on the clock left in this first half. Man in motion, it'll be a handoff to Taylor, who stopped once again by Doty. Only a yard gained that time. And the Stars need to do something else aside from handing it off right up the middle because this defensive line has figured it out.
Maybe seeing another pass from Elliott Young there. Something we don't normally see from him is being able to handle pressure well. And right there, he handled it, great. He was able to get it to Marsh very easily, although he had several guys running after him there. So hopefully we'll see more of that for the Stars.
Garrity lined up at wide receiver on the near side, ball in the middle of the field from the 47-yard line. Second down and 9, a handoff, reverse to the far side. It's Marsh with a stiff arm. Marsh drops to the ground near the 30, make that the 41-yard line. And this time the Stars, with some variety, they give it the sweep out to Marsh on the counter from his wing position, and he puts on the stiff arm, and a nice play by him as he moves the chains and gets plenty of yardage there. Now in opponent territory, let's see what the Stars can do variety-wise here on offense. Another heavy set formation with Garrity lined up now from the 41-yard line, 1st and 10, 2:38 on the clock. Marsh in motion. It'll be a handoff left side to Taylor, and Taylor found a little bit more room, but only gained 4.
I'll say time and time again that a duo between Marsh and Robbie Taylor rushing the ball really helps. You see Luke Marsh took the last rush and got a successful one from it, and then Robbie Taylor found a little more success than he has been right after that. So going back and forth between the two, the defense will never know which one to expect. 2nd and 6 from the 37-yard line of the opponent. It's a sweep to the near side. It's a reverse. Garrity with some room. He's got a blocker in front of him. It's actually going to be sent to the near side, and gaining the first down will be on a confusing play, but a trick play. It was a toss, a fake reverse, and then Garrity sold his part well. It was just ended up being Luke Marsh with the keeper here. So sure enough, a fake reverse now as we're looking up at the replay. And he just lowered his shoulder, got the rest, moved forward, and gained the first.
Luke Marsh playing a very fiery game right now. These past two plays with him rushing. Something that I guess Western Boone is going to continue doing is trying to keep that rushing game. But instead of handing it off to Taylor, maybe we'll see more rushes from Marsh for the rest of this game, or at least until Western Boone gets ahead once more.
1:56 up on the clock. They had to measure it, but sure enough, the Stars will have the first down. The chains will move. So we'll see 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line when the teams resume play.
We'll see here if Weibo can possibly get caught back up and see if their defense is going to keep Bishop Luers here from scoring once again.
On the near side at the 31 of their opponent is Western Boone. Heavy set formation, one wide receiver is Garrity. And it'll be looking to throw with some room with a man opens Garrity. Garrity reaches forward, and it is incomplete. Into triple coverage. Simply just an underthrown ball. Garrity had a step on his receiver, and if he had a better thrown ball, that would have been a touchdown. But nevertheless, 2nd down and 10, once again from that 31-yard line.
That was, great coverage there by Bishop Luers. Almost an interception by number 24, Nick Thompson, really getting up there, high up in the air, using his height to his advantage there, something that Garrity has always done.
Thompson, the biggest member of the secondary, at 6'2", 185, almost caught that one-handed, incomplete. Here's the next play. Handoff goes to Taylor. Tripped up, only gains a yard. Taylor struggling on the ground as this defense is putting the clamps on the interior part of this run game. It's going to take some outside runs and some more passes for the Stars to have success. $1:30 to go here in this second quarter.
Yeah, Taylor's been really struggling these past couple plays. He's just getting tripped up. The defensive line really realizing that they're going to go with Taylor up the center more times than not. So now would be the time for the Stars to use their variety that we've seen in games in the past where they've had success, where they go those short passes to allow Young to get some confidence to Garrity, or the trick plays from Marsh, as we've seen be successful in the game. Now would be the time to reach into their playbook and pull something different out that we haven't seen very much this season.
The Stars and Justin Pelly call the timeout. When we come back, it'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 29-yard line, a huge play that could really decide momentum going into the half. We'll get to that after this on WB TV Sports.
Price of a ticket when you attend a high school athletic event? For starters, greater opportunities for our kids.
And here comes Lopez. He dribbles, fakes, shoots, and scores! A high-paying job!
Putting today's young people on the pathway to success. Inspiring them to never give up. Encouraging them to always do their best. Teaching them how to be better leaders. It's all included in the price of admission when you go to an IHSAA athletic event. All you have to do is buy a ticket.
I can do that.
High school sports. We pay. They plus. Message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Oh, my goodness!
Nathaniel, Colin, and Maggie here at downtown Indianapolis. And the Stars, they're down 13-21, but they have the ball. 3rd down and 8 coming up next. And what is going to be a huge play for the Stars here. And they're in 4-down territory, I would imagine. But they really need points on this drive because Bishop Luers, they'll receive the ball in the kickoff going into the second half.
Western Boone here, if they're looking to score more, they got to stop handing it off to Robbie Taylor, something that always proves to serve them well in other games. But, right now with Bishop Luer, catching on to that play, it's not going to really get them anywhere. So they really need to find that diversity in their play.
Now with trips formation to the far side from the 29-yard line, expect Marsh to empty out the backfield. Hasn't yet, but that's likely what's going to happen. From the gun. And Marsh will actually just get the handoff up the middle. Now with some open room, the stiff arm and gains the first down. The first down and more, a gain of about 11 or 12 inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. And that's a play. The setup was where the Stars were out of the gun, pistol formation, with 3 wide receivers to the left side. Usually the running back dumps out and goes for some type of screen, but the Stars mixing it up, and it worked there. Same formation. Now I would expect maybe that running back with getting out of the backfield. We'll see if that's the case or not. From 1st down and 10, this time a throw to the near side. Garrity with a catch, falls to the ground, and gets 9 yards before he's dropped inside the 10 to the 7 or 8 yard line. The Stars with some mojo on these last 2 plays, really trying to trip up this defense. This formation I keep talking about, something the Stars usually run the same play out of, but here they're giving some different looks, and now it's kind of setting up for this next play where they're in the same formation again. 2nd and 1 from the 8. Another handoff. Goes up the middle. A fumble. The ball's on the ground. It's recovered by the defense. The Stars lose the ball when everything seemed to be going right for the offense. The dagger right in the heart of Western Boone. And it was what looked to be a designed play action because the quarterback took the ball away from the running back, but doing so with 3 guys in his face. And that time too much on the play to the quarterback. He just drops the ball. And now with just 7 seconds to go, will we see a deep pass and maybe an opportunity to extend the lead to double digits? Or will they just take a knee or maybe just a simple run?
That was a really great play there by Bishop Luers, really staying on it against Western Boone's offense, just charging forward and getting that ball as quickly as they could.
With 7 seconds left to go in this half, heavy set formation under center, likely going to expect just a run on here. The running back is Anderson, Raymond Anderson. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line of their own, just a quick kneel. And that will end the half. Coming back out to the other side, Bishop Luers will have the ball with the opening kickoff of the second half. 21-13 the score after the Stars fumbled the ball in their opportunity to tie the game, and Bishop Luers has to feel very good about their position here in this ball game.
You know, a good thing for the Stars is that throughout the season, they've really been a second-half team, especially Robbie Taylor. He comes out, they take the break at the He really puts something, plants a seed in their brain, and they come out and they have fire, and they've played really well their second half. So the game's not over. Just the one score with a 2-point conversion would put them tied up again. So we'll see if the Stars can get that momentum they need out of the half that we've seen multiple times throughout the season.
Looking at the stat comparison, right now the Stars 175 total yards compared to 168 for Bishop Luers, so really tied up there when it comes to total yards. But Luers has 139 passing yards, the Stars with just 22. Rushing yards is on the opposite end, where the Stars have 153 on the ground and just 29 rushing yards for the Knights. So both teams getting it done on offense in the same way. The killer for Western Boone, though, the 2 fumbles lost. Bishop Luers dropped a fumble but was able to pick it up. So the turnovers has been the key for this defense. We mentioned they have 30 takeaways on the year now, bumped that up to 32. And the Stars, they need to come out with a much better game plan because they've been struggling these last couple of drives. They start out really well. Their first 2 drives scored touchdowns both times, but they've just been sputtering because the defense knows what's coming.
Anytime the Stars are having a shaky first half, we saw this at the Heritage Christian game as well 2 weeks ago, my apologies there. Pelly will take them into the locker room during halftime, and I don't know what he says in there, but it usually works. It gets them back into the game, it gets them ready, and they usually come out and they perform better than they did in the first half. The Stars not performing, terribly this first half.
Yeah, we mentioned they're tied with total yardage, so it's not like they're putting up a dud on offense.
I mean, it almost seems like it's just been a couple cases of, I don't want to say bad luck, but simply just bad situations, especially there with Casey Baird, number 22, with that fumble that he had after that punt recovery. That was just a bad situation overall, taking that hard hit from the back. There's not really a lot you can do to keep the ball there, and you could see that kind of discouraged the Stars a little bit. I don't think they played as well as they were before after that play alone, especially after Bishop Luers got that touchdown there. It's just they need to stay mental with it. They need to keep their heads in the game because they're kind of loosening up right now, and it's really showing as they fall further and further behind against Bishop Luers.
You know what this reminds me of was the Heritage Christian game where they were going up against a really potent pass offense. They were down at halftime, and just something that Coach Pelly said in the locker room really propelled them, and they played very well in that second half, ended up coming back and winning the game by double digits. But it's going to take one of those efforts here because Luers, they've been able to score every drive they've had so far, and they're going to start with the drive opening up the second half.
Some similarities to that Heritage Christian game that we're seeing today as well is kind of the switching of different plays. We're seeing a couple plays that we don't normally see from Western Boone, a little bit of passing, and not being one of Western Boone's strong suits there. Passing isn't really proving to be too successful for them so far. I mean, we had that one touchdown by number 85, Connor Garrity, in the first quarter, which was really, really impressive. Elliott Young, kind of proven to be, I guess, better than he used to be towards the beginning of this season when it comes to handling pressure. Because, man, when it came down to pressure, Elliott Young, great quarterback. He just really could not handle anybody being on him.
Yeah, so that'll end our first half coverage here at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Bishop Luers Knights started the season 3-6. They've won their last 5, trying to make it 6. And the Stars have won the last 2 state championship games. They'll try to make that 3 in a row. Coming back on the other side of the locker room is Nathaniel, Colin, and Maggie for WB TV Sports. We'll see you soon on YouTube with WB TV Sports.
Remember the high school cheer? 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
I do. And the high school teams in our community appreciate all of you. They need to hear your voice, loud and proud, more than ever before.
They need your enthusiasm. They need your attendance at their games and meets. And they need for you to follow virus protocols, get a flu shot, so that they can have a great year.
Your positive, supportive voice is appreciated more than you know. I'm Chris Kaufman.
And I'm Sandra Walter. We're both assistant commissioners at the IHSAA. Thank you again for your enthusiastic support of high school sports.
This is passion. This is enthusiasm. This is community pride. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
High school sports teach important life lessons, like the best offense is a good defense.
If that's true, then we can win this battle against the pandemic by defending ourselves and each other from COVID-19. So let's wash our hands, always wear a mask, get a flu shot, and practice social distancing.
We'll not only be protecting ourselves, we'll also be protecting our teammates and friends, our moms and dads, our grandmas and grandpas.
Let's play tough defense, and we'll win this battle. I'm Sandra Walter.
And I'm Robert Falkins. We're Assistant Commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Thank you.
This is respect. This is cooperation. This is individual responsibility. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
More than ever before, the success of this school year depends on teamwork.
And that means all of us, students, parents, teachers, school administrators, and people like you. We've got to be all in, go all out, do all we can all year long to make sure high school students in our communities have a great year.
And that includes following virus protocols and getting a flu shot. Let's trust each other, believe in each other, and get it done. I'm Chris Kaufman, Assistant Commissioner of the IHSAA.
And I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Thank you for supporting the high schools in our communities.
This is cooperation. This is collaboration. This is unity.
Welcome back here to Lucas Oil Stadium. And so far, a great game, 13-21. The score, Bishop Luers leading, and they will receive this opening kickoff. The Stars fumbled the ball near the goal line on their last possession and what could have tied up the game. But instead, Bishop Luers has a chance to go up by 2 touchdowns now. So this next drive is huge for each team because, of course, the Stars being a run-heavy team, it's hard to get out of big holes when you have to throw the ball, even though that's not really their strong suit.
The Stars here falling behind by a touchdown and an extra point, of course. A little discouraging for them. But we saw this in the Heritage Christian game as well last week, or 2 weeks ago, where they were falling behind in the first half. But after Pelly talked to them, they came back out, and both sides of the football really tightened up, which is something we're probably going to see today.
The quarterback for Luers, Carson Clark, 6 for 8, 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's had a lot of chunk plays today. So it's going to be key here for the Stars, at least on the back end, to kind of slow down this passing attack for Bishop Luers.
You know, defensively, the Stars, they haven't been doing terrible. They've just been having mistakes that are super costly. They're small little mistakes, but they end up being bigger than what they should have been. Like a mistake after a mistake will lead to a touchdown, as we saw on one drive.
Now back to kick, going from left to right. The white jerseys of Western Boone kicking it now at the 10-yard lines. Menson cuts it now to the near side of the 20, now to the 25, brought down by Marsh at the 24-yard line. A nice return there from Krishan Menson, but probably the worst field position that this team has faced so far today.
Both teams coming out of the locker room at halftime, super aggressive. You could see that Minson there, he wanted to get where he wanted, and he was going with the speed. But the Stars, their special teams kicking into gear, they got where they should have been and gave them the worst field position they've had all game.
Still decent position, so it's not like it's the end of the world. But, I mean, at the 24-yard line, that's not quite around the 50 and 45 like they were used to earlier. So here's this first drive, moving from right to left. The Knights wearing black, trips formation to the open side of the field. The ball's on the near hash mark. It'll be a shotgun pass. Now a quick pass to the near side. Stopped, but still gains a nice chunk play. Pushes forward for 7, right around the 31-yard line of their own.
In the second half here from Bishop Luers, we're probably going to see a very heavy passing game. We've seen a decent amount of passing from them in this first half, with it being, probably their strongest suit of this team.
Now with the trip formation, the near side, ball on the far hash mark, looking to throw once against Clark. Clark with a quick screen, and it's blown up incomplete. What a hit there from Luke Marsh to blow up the screen pass. And now that'll set up 3rd down and 3 from the 31-yard line. A big hit, and Raymond Anderson had no chance of hauling that one in with Marsh in his gut.
I said it before they went into the locker room for halftime. Western Boone's a second-half team, and we're seeing it now.
Now from the gun with 3 wide receivers set to the near side on the far hash mark. This team with a 3rd down and 3. Huge play for this opening drive. Now will be looking to throw to the near side with an open receiver. It's caught past the chains, and the Stars lapse on defense, and the chains are moved. A gain of about 10, or 7 or 8, to the 41.
The Stars, we can see here, kind of tightening their defense a little bit better than it was before. Of course, not staying on those receivers as well. We saw that in the first half. They weren't really staying on the receivers too well, and there were a lot of passes being caught.
On these short situations, the Stars defense need to put a lot more pressure, maybe some press coverage, because these zones have been easy to find. Now the running back slammed to the ground by Luke Marsh. And now that'll be a gain of about 2. 2nd down and 8 up next near the 45 to the 43-yard line.
If the Stars are wanting to focus on keeping that first down from happening once again, they need to focus more on the potential plays that are going to come from Bishop Luers.
2nd and 8. Here's a snap to the near side. Another catch, this time by Sewell. Once again, moves the chains again, and 2 consecutive plays with a quick pass to Johnny Sewell. The Stars need to press these wide receivers for Bishop Luers, because they've had plenty of room just past the line of scrimmage, and then they've just been able to get the first downs. This time, Johnny Sewell, who's had a great game so far today. Receiving, he's got 23 yards. Now looking to throw. It'll be a handoff up the middle, and the backup running back comes in and gets about 6 yards on the carry. That time it was R.J. Hogue, who so far this year, looking at his statistics on the ground, 30 carries for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's 9:56 up on the clock. This offense now with Hogue in the backfield, with trips receivers to the open side of the field, the far side, the ball in the near hash mark, from right to left at the 38-yard line. 1 wide receiver in the near side is Sewell. 6 yards between him and the defender, so that's an open spot. Now looking to throw, looking to the left side, now right, scrambles left, is sacked to the ground. A loss of 5, 6, or 7 yards, and that time it was Zane Sturgis to get in on the sack, caught the quarterback from behind, who tried to flush out of the pocket to the near side.
That's something we didn't see in the first half. The Stars, they're a team that they tackle for loss, and they get lots of sacks throughout their season. But today we just haven't been seeing that, and that was a great play by Zane Sturgis.
2.5 sacks per game, 134 tackles for a loss total. This team gets to the quarterback on defense. They just haven't been able to today until then. Here's the next throw to the far side. It will be almost intercepted, but incomplete. Into double coverage was the throw. Went off the hands of Ryan Taylor, intended for Brady Glenn.
Connor Garrity there as a defender, using his height to his advantage, as he always does, really getting up there and, using his agility as the receiver.
The Stars will force their first punt of the game, and it couldn't have come at a better time. This defense starting to lock up, bend but don't break, and now the ball will be placed at the 45-yard line, ready for the punt. The kick is up. It's a short punt, floating up in the air. Will be dropped to the near side around the 20-yard line before it'll be downed at the, we'll call it the 16-yard line. The punter there for this team, Evan Linker, also plays linebacker.
This is something we saw these past couple of weeks from Western Boone, trying to keep that pressure on their opponents, to get into that fourth down and force them to, punt it or, whatever they might want to do, just keeping that pressure high. Finally, something we're seeing again from the Stars. They were kind of getting off that pattern for a little bit there.
And now Clark knows that he won't have a clean pocket the rest of the game. He's been hit once, and now he will have a little bit just in the back of his mind that they can bring pressure. Now the Stars set up from left to right at the 12-yard line of their own. It'll be a handoff to Taylor to the near side. Taylor with some room, but gets about 7 yards, and that's his best run in quite a while. He's been bottled up that second quarter before running for a lot of yards in the first quarter. Looking at his totals, over 103 yards, 22 attempts, and a touchdown. He had a long of 21 earlier.
Western Boone coming back with that typical run from Taylor that, we've seen time and time again from almost every game this season.
Heavy set formation with extra blockers. Taylor, the man in the backfield. It'll be a handoff to him up the middle. He gets more room. He gets a first down and more. And each of the last two times there's been one man left to tackle Taylor before a lot of green in front of him. That time moves the chains to the 29, almost the 30-yard line. But he is brought down by Krayshawn Menson.
Taylor's the kind of guy that you can expect throughout the game. He's going to get better and better. We've seen it each and every game that he's played. So him coming out this strong from the half could be really great for the Stars.
We'll call it the 30-yard line, 1st and 10, 7:49 to go in the third quarter. Man in motion. It'll be a handoff to the near side. This time Taylor's dropped but still gains 4. And he's found a lot of success this drive up the middle. A gain of 7, a gain of about 5, and now a gain of 4.
Really interesting plays here again from Western Boone. You can see coming right out of the locker room, they just have that focus that they've needed, since the beginning of the game. The first quarter was really well for them, but that second quarter really shook things up.
Back to the line of scrimmage is the Stars with heavy set formation, extra blockers on each side of the line, 2 wide receivers set. Marsh in motion. There'll be a toss out to Marsh to the far side. Marsh to the 35, cuts it upfield to the 40, pushes forward for the first down, is dragged down by his collar into the inside the 45 to the 42-yard line, moves the chains in a nice toss play. Still running the ball, but now with some variety. Marsh in the open field made a man miss.
Marsh there, typically doing what he always does, using his speed to, just zip around whoever stands in his way. But right there we saw a zigzag pattern kind of fitting through players like a maze until he was finally brought down.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line of their own, 6:45 on the clock. Heavy set formation. Once again, 2 wide receivers split out to each side. Ball on the far hash mark. Handoff goes to Taylor, who pushes it upfield, and once again pushes forward for 7 yards. 2nd down and 3 next, just a yard shy of midfield.
Continuously extremely impressive runs here by Robbie Taylor. In the second half, as I mentioned, when Western Boone was getting kind of shaky, we didn't see a whole lot of yard gainage from Robbie Taylor, but we're seeing a lot more of that right now.
From the 49-yard line of their own, 2nd down and 3. Marsh in the backfield, some movement in the neutral zone. A flag flies. It'll likely be against the defense. And that would give the Stars an automatic first down if my hunch is correct. Sure enough, the chains move on the 5-yard penalty, the neutral zone infraction from Bishop Luers in the defensive line. The Stars with a free first down there and move into enemy territory now to the 46-yard line of the Knights.
This third quarter here looking really good for the Stars. The odds seem to be turning in their favor for a little bit, but we'll see how much longer that will keep up and if it will keep up at all for the rest of the game from this point on.
The ball right around the middle of the field, placed just above the face mask of the Colts logo. The Stars offense now able to move the ball pretty efficiently so far. Miller in motion will be handoff left side to Taylor. The pile pushes, and the defense wins. He'll still gain about 4 yards there, but nothing more after he hit the brick wall, and the pile couldn't do anything more. 2nd down and 6 from the 41-yard line.
Western Boone, once again, not really seeming to shuffle their plays at all. Just kind of going with that simple idea of just Robbie Taylor, just, pushing him through. And it always seems to work well for them.
Especially when that variety starts to come in. We saw in the second quarter he started to be stopped a little bit, but he's regained his juice. This time a toss out to the near side. This time it's Mitch Miller. Mitch Miller to the 40-yard line with some room in front of him to the 35 to the 30. Lowers his shoulder, gains an extra 3. And now it looked like the ball was out. What are they going to call it? Looks to be Western Boone ball still. A lucky break for the Stars after the hit jarred the ball loose, but he was down by contact.
Great effort there by number 11, junior Mitch Miller. We saw a couple good plays from him last week. We saw some better ones against Heritage Christian the week before that, scoring a touchdown for the Stars.
1st and 10 now from the 28-yard line. 4:46 to go in this third quarter of play. Handoff goes right side and stopped now, just a gain of 2 or maybe 3 from Robbie Taylor.
Now that Robbie Taylor's starting to get stopped up in this drive, it's time for the Stars to bring in some variety and switch up the plays, because now the defense is going to get into Robbie Taylor's head, and he's not going to have as great of plays. So reaching in, doing some pass plays might be their best option.
The Stars with 40 carries for 206 yards collectively on the ground. Through the air, just 22 yards on 3 completions, a touchdown each way. And now nearing the red zone at the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and long, throwing it to the near side. Wide open man's Luke Marsh. Marsh makes a move inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. Moves the chains with a big play through the air for the Stars. And the wide open Luke Marsh hauls it in and gets it just past the 7-yard line to the 6.
Something we don't ever see a lot of from the Stars is, a passing game. But right there, it proved that every once in a while when that passing game can come in, it can, prove to be very efficient for the Stars. Most times it usually is not, though.
Once again, under center, heavy set formation. Taylor in the backfield. He gets a handoff and pushes forward, lunges to the goal line, to the 1-yard line. He's got a touchdown on the ground today, that time a yard shy, and that brings up 2nd down and goal from the 1.
Something with this, the shuffling of Western Boone's plays, we noticed that in the second quarter of this game, it almost kind of threw off Robbie Taylor, because keeping Taylor in that rhythm of just, going over and over again, I guess keeps him warmed up, but he kind of got a little loose there in the second half.
From the 1.5-yard line, goal to go. Heavy set formation, 2nd down. Garrity, the lone receiver, to the far side. Hash mark on the near side. Handoff goes to Taylor. Pushed forward by his quarterback, and he scores. Potentially could tie this one up with a 2-point conversion, but nevertheless 6 points on the ground for Western side of the field into the end zone. The ball will be placed back at the 2-yard line, and we'll wait and see what the Stars decide to call.
Although
chances are they're going to go for 2.
That push there by the quarterback, number 18, Elliott Young, did seem to help Robbie Taylor out a lot there. But, watching that replay, I saw Taylor looked like he could have easily just gone in on his own. But it's always nice to have that extra assistance from your teammates.
Taylor heads to the bench, replaced by Marsh. Keep an eye on Garrity, the lone man on the near side of the field. Ball on the far hash mark. It'll be a pass play, rolling out with some pressure, cutting it upfield. A man behind him. He's still on his feet. He tosses the ball into the end zone. No, and that is no good. With the improv play, the quarterback, a bit of a dangerous toss, but over to Hysong. Hysong gets it all the way up to the 1-yard line. Altogether, no good. The Stars down by 2. And that time, with some pressure, the quarterback Young was able to evade, toss it over to what was one of his linemen, and Hysong just wasn't able to extend far enough. He got really close, but not able to convert. We'll take a break here and be back in just 30 seconds on WBTV Sports.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here to the 2A State Football Championship in Indiana. The Stars just scored there, unable to convert the 2-point conversion, after missing the field goal earlier. They were almost forced to go for that, so now they're down by 2, 21-19. Bishop Luers will have the ball next, and the Stars on defense were able to force the punt, which set up the touchdown, and now some momentum on the Stars side, but the scoreboard favors the Bishop Luers team, considered the home team with their dark jerseys, and we'll be ready to get this next one off pretty soon. The 2-point conversion was almost successful on the improv from the quarterback, Elliott Young. He has his moments, doesn't he? He's got some plays to where he can evade pressure and make good throws, and that time he was able to make that heads-up toss, and he just simply wasn't able to. The Hysong wasn't able to score, but it was really close.
We've seen some really great plays from Elliott Young here tonight, number 18 quarterback for the Stars. That early touchdown pass over to Connor Garrity, he was able to handle the pressure really well and shake things up a lot. And we saw another play later on where he tossed it over to Luke Marsh, with a bunch of guys on him, basically chasing him around the field. And he saw that Marsh was open, handed it over to him. And we saw some pretty heavy yard gainage there off that play as well.
The Stars kicking off from left to right towards the Indianapolis side of the end zone where they just scored their touchdown. Here comes the kick from Smith. This time it is a squib kick to the 30-yard line, and downing it right there will be the returner, who is Braden McInturf. So now this drive will start right at the 30-yard line, which is similar to the field position that they were faced with the last drive, of course, that ultimately ended in the punt near midfield. We'll see how this drive goes. Of course, the confidence got to be a little shaken up if you're this Bishop Luers team, but they know they can air the ball out. They're the second-best team in the state at doing so, behind South Adams, the 1A state finalist, and we'll see what this next drive carries. But right now, we've got a spread formation. Out of the gun is the quarterback with Carson Clark. Running backs Anderson takes a snap. It'll be a reverse to the near side with some room to work with is Menson, who steps out of bounds after a 5-yard gain. There's a flag on the field, however, just around the 35-yard line on the Luers side. That'll be against Bishop Luers, and the positive play will go backwards because of the penalty.
Interesting play there by Bishop Luers. The Stars, not really expecting that, but they were able to get on to the runner, number 20, there very quickly.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Cannon Bruins today after his crazy game just a week ago where he had three turnovers, and we'll see if he can get on if he can get some pressure generated here. The penalty was an illegal block against Luers, so that backs them up, I believe 10 yards from the spot. So now first down and 16 from their own 24-yard line. This is where their drive started last time. Still first down, though, with the spread formation on the near hash mark. The open field over to the far side. Now looking to throw that way. It's another quick screen. That time it's swallowed up by the linebacker, Luke Marsh, who's now the Western Boone, the record holder for most tackles in a season from Western Boone. Took me a minute to get those words out.
That was a really, really impressive tackle there by Luke Marsh. He saw where that ball was going, and he got over there as quickly as he could and just completely took him down.
From the 21-yard line now, their own second down and 19. From the middle of the field. Moore favoring the near hash mark, looking to throw now as the quarterback throws this one deep downfield with a man open. It's caught. Brody Glenn with nothing but air, and he almost trips up near the end zone. Garrity slams into the turf at the goal line, right at the 2-inch line. Garrity with a touchdown saving tackle, and what a play by Brody Glenn, who has been on fire today, coming to the game with over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns through the air, and he has been lighting up the scoreboard. 171 yards on 6 catches and a touchdown so far today. He's caught 6 of his 7 targets. And now from the 1-inch line, first down and goal to go with a spread formation on the far hash mark. The quarterback out of the gun. It'll be a handoff, and Anderson punches it in for his second touchdown today. Going back up on the scoreboard, responding to the Stars drive. Adds 6 to the board, 27-19 the score. And the team was backed up really far. They had to go 80 yards there on that drive because of the second down and 19, and they did it no problem. One play, just the speed of Glenn. Now kicking is Roll Panetta. The ball down at the 10-yard line. The kick is up and through the uprights. It's true. Panetta so far this year, coming into the game, was 42 of 47 for PATs, 90% kicker from that mark. Also 3 for 5 on field goals and handled all the kickoff duties. He's a soccer player for this team, so understandably he's been the main leg for this Knights team.
Coach Pelly, when I had the opportunity to talk to him before this game, he told me that one thing that Western Boone wanted to watch out for was the fact that Bishop Luers is a very quick scoring team, and we could see that today, getting down there from about the 24-yard line all the way to the end zone in just a couple minutes there. Really impressive plays from them, great passes, and Brody Glenn, number 6, just running down there as quickly as he could. Connor Garrity, as a defender, has always used his speed to try and, match whoever he is up against. But right there, it seemed like number 6, Brody Glenn was much faster than Garrity, just, barely being able to get up there after Glenn tripped a little bit, but Garrity was able to get him.
Ready to kick now. The Knights from right to left is where the kickoff will go, into the waiting hands of either Luke Marsh standing at the 9-yard line or Casey Baird at the 8. Raymond Anderson has 9 carries so far today on the ground, 30 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a long of 16. He's been bottled up on all but 2 occasions, and both of those have gone for touchdowns. Here comes the kickoff from Panetta. From the 40-yard line is where the kick will originate. It's a pretty high kick, end over end, and now the 10-yard line, returned by Baird, who had the fumble earlier. Baird cuts it upfield to the near side, makes another move. He needs to hold on to the ball now. He goes to the ground, does so at the 40-yard line. A nice return there of 32 yards.
Casey Baird has had some really impressive punt returns these past couple of games. And today he had that one for the loss of the ball as he took that hit from behind. But you could see there, as he was going down the field towards the right, he was keeping the ball really close into him. And as he took hits from multiple guys, he was still able to keep it tight in as he fell down with it.
So far today for the Stars on offense, 42 rushing attempts, 7 attempts through the air. And Taylor's got 29 of those attempts. Now from the 40-yard line on the far hash mark, a handoff goes up the middle. Now to the near side is Taylor, who gains exactly 5 on the play. And he's been a problem so far for the defense today.
As good of a player as Robbie Taylor is, and using him is really what the Stars need to do, they also need to look to other weapons they have on offense, as Connor Garrity and Luke Marsh are also on the field.
Taylor coming into the game with over 1,600 rushing yards. He's added that total today, and he'll do so right here with a handoff up the middle. 5 yards, gets the first down, adds 6. So now to the opponent's 49-yard line, near midfield. Ball just a yard away from that 50-yard line. Placed on the face mask of the Colts helmet in the middle of Lucas Oil Stadium. Marching downfield once again on the ground. Taylor with 302 attempts coming into the game. He's got 31 attempts today. And going to try to add to that lead probably is this next play. 1st and 10, man of motion. It'll be a quarterback sneak up the middle, and somehow the quarterback keeper gets 5 yards.
That's something we saw a lot of last week as well against Modern Day. We saw some quarterback keepers for some pretty interesting gains there, with Elliott Young getting a touchdown with one of them. It was a really impressive play overall, being able to cut through the defenders, and we saw another one with some pretty heavy gains.
2nd and 6 now with 18 seconds to go in this third quarter from the 45-yard line of the opponent. One last play this quarter. It gets off to Taylor, who pushes forward and gets the first down. Taylor's been moving the ball in chunks so far, 5+ yards per carry so far today. And he's done pretty well now, moving the chains there. The clock will, right now it's at 8. It stops at 8 because of the first down line, so the Stars have the choice to just let it out, which they will. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and the end of the third quarter is upon us. We've got 1 quarter to go before we decide the winner of the class of 2A football high school state championship. Stay tuned. We'll get to the third quarter shortly right here on WBTV Sports.
Losing, they're about persistence and perseverance, no matter how big the challenge.
The high schools in our community are going through a difficult time, but our fall sports season is off to a strong start. And with your patience, flexibility, and unwavering support, we think we'll have a surprisingly good year.
Most important of all, we've got to follow virus protocols and get a flu shot. So let's stay after it. Let's not give up. I'm Carrie Schludecker.
And I'm Robert Falcons. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
Our high school coaches and student athletes, thank you for your support.
This is persistence. This is perseverance. This is positivity. This is what high school sports in Indiana are all about. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back up here to the booth of Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm Nathaniel Finch, joined alongside Colin Marth and Maggie. 28-19, Luers ahead, but the Stars with the ball. And, of course, they've missed the PAT earlier in the game, and they failed 2-point conversion. So they're 2 scores behind now instead of just 1. But 12 minutes to go. They've got the ball near the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Coming up next when the teams begin to head back out to the line of scrimmage, still in their huddle now. Flipping field position, the Stars will now be going from right to left, now towards the Colts end zone rather than that Indianapolis side.
We're going to watch here these next couple of plays. We're going to see if we're going to see more handoffs to Ravi Taylor carrying that ball further and further down, as it usually is, as Robbie is able to just get that ball and move forward and forward. Or, we might see some more passes from Western Boone as well.
12 minutes to go in regulation, now at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 under center, but with some spread looks. It'll be a handoff, only gaining 2 yards from Taylor. The first stop on the ground of this second half, and it comes on the first play of the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 8 from the 36 of their own is Western Boone. They've moved the ball pretty well this drive. We'll see if that continues. Headed out to the line of scrimmage now. Right in the middle of the field to the near hash mark in the middle there. With a hand in the dirt is Taylor. It'll be a toss out to Miller. Miller with some blockers to the far side. 45, now 30 to the 30-yard line. Steps out of bounds at the 31, it appears.
Miller, we can see here with more, impressive plays with his running for, a smaller guy, I want to say, even though he's not, that small, he is able to, really go using that to his advantage. A very fast player and overall an excellent player for Western Boone.
Yeah, the numbers for him so far, 18 rushing attempts coming into the game with 3 touchdowns on the year, 75 yards total, 13 catches as well for 151 and 4 touchdowns. He's been a utility man at the slot wide receiver position. Now at the 30-yard line, 3rd down and short. Handoff goes to Taylor, who gets a first down and more, finds some open field and gains 5 yards. 5.5, we'll say, inside the 25. A nice run there on 3rd and 2, moves the chains and keeps the drive moving. Robbie Taylor once again with a handoff. 3 touchdowns a year ago, and he's got upwards of 35 attempts for almost 165 yards, and he's got a touchdown as well.
Taylor, he can go from only having a 2-yard pickup to having an 8-yard pickup the very next play. It just depends on what he's given.
Heavy set, 1st and 10 from the 25. Handoff goes to Taylor off the right tackle, and he pushes forward for 2.5 yards. A nice stop there by the Knights defense, led by number 50 of the Knights, the middle linebacker Evan Linker, the 5'8", 160-pound junior. His numbers this year have been pretty impressive for this team. He's got 73 total tackles, 5 quarterback hurries, and 2 sacks.
we'll see here what Western Boone is going to do with this opportunity to keep pushing as they inch closer and closer to the end zone here.
50 carries, 250 yards as a collective unit is this offense on the ground. Now the throw, looking to throw deep to the end zone with a man open, jumps up and catches it at the highest point, brings it down, and it's incomplete. Almost with a catch in the end zone, but instead it'll be 3rd down and 8.
That was a great throw there by quarterback number 18, Elliott Young for the Stars, handling any pressure that he found really well, finding his receivers easily. Of course, it was just a bit short there.
Garrett Morton, the intended target. It would have been just his 3rd catch of the year. No touchdowns yet. 3rd down and 8. A big play here. A handoff goes to Taylor, pushes forward, gets most of what he needs, breaks through and gets the first. What a play by Robbie Taylor, right up the gut. Needed 8, and he got it. They're going to measure this, but it sure looks, I don't know, they will say it's 1st down to the 14-yard line of the defense. Clock's ticking at 10 minutes. They need to score pretty quick here and get the stop so they have time for their final drive if needed. Is this Western Boone team. Taylor with the hand in the dirt from the 14-yard line of the defense. Handoff goes to Taylor off the right guard. And to the far hash mark, only gets 2 yards on the play. 2nd down and long coming up next. 9:39 up on the clock.
Something we'll potentially hear a lot of for the rest of this final quarter is what a play by Robbie Taylor. Something that, we repeat at almost every game just because he always gets amazing plays in.
9:20 up on the clock. 2nd down and long. Here's the handoff to Taylor. Gets to the 10-yard line. Still pushing forward. The pile lunges him forward. Only 2 yards, though. So now we'll have 3rd down and 6. And a decision to make for Coach Pelly near the end zone. Robbie Taylor with a handoff there. We'll see if Coach decides to give him another handoff. Maybe they'll go for one of their trick plays he's got hiding up his sleeve. We saw a few of them against Mater Dei a week ago. We'll see what the play brings here from the 10-yard line. 3rd and 6 with 8:44 up on the clock. Garrity at the bottom of at the near side of the field. It'll be a counter run with a wide open room. Maybe to the end zone is Marsh, and he scores the touchdown for Luke Marsh and leaves the defense gasted from his wing position. Comes in motion, puts his foot in the dirt, and we've seen this time and time again from the wingback Luke Marsh with the counter run play. Breaks 2 tackles, 3 tackles, and scores to bring this within 3, pending this extra point, which they will take the PAT rather than the 2-point conversion. Try to bring this within 2. Luke Marsh with 65 yards on 9 attempts and a touchdown. Here's the PAT from Smith through the uprights, and the important one gets in. 28-26 the score now. Indy Star had this game projected to be a close one as well. The score that they decided to go with was 30-28 Weibo, so here we are, 26-28 Fort Wayne, but still 8:34 to go on the clock. And what a drive from the Stars.
That was a really amazing play there by Luke Marsh. We see plenty of great rushes from him. We've seen a lot this season, but that right there just, it just shows what he can do as a player using his speed and his agility to just, get down to that end zone as quickly as he can. It's just something he's always been great at. Him and Taylor alike being the 2 main rushers for Western Boone, but the difference between them is Taylor always takes a more direct route, just, pushing 3 guys, while Marsh is always trying to go around using his speed to get through any defenders that stand over towards the sidelines.
4 Stars have ran the ball so far today for 54 yards total. Robbie Taylor has 38 attempts himself, 181 yards and a touchdown. Marsh has a touchdown, and Young has a rushing touchdown as well.
Using the switch between Robbie Taylor and Luke Marsh works. You could see there that Robbie Taylor, he was picking up only 2 yards and then another 2-yard play, and then you switch it up and you bring Luke Marsh in with a more fast outside route that he does, and it works, and you get a touchdown. That's why switching it up between the two of them, if you're going to continue to have a rushing game, switch up who's rushing, and it'll work for the Stars.
This game is everything we expected it to be. The Stars dominating on the ground and the Knights dominating through the air. 244 passing yards for Luers compared to 41 for Western Boone. And then it flips the other way. The Stars with 272 rushing yards, only 35 for the team wearing black. So far, total yardage, the Stars 313 total yards today. 279 is the number for the team that's about to get the ball, Bishop Luers. So it's been a very close game here all throughout today. And now Luers with the chance to respond to the Stars scoring in their second straight drive to open up this half. Now 8:34 to go in the fourth quarter.
We'll have to see here what kind of approach the Stars are going to take with their kick. We might see another squib as we saw earlier in the first quarter, or we might see a longer one as we've typically seen throughout the rest of this game.
The way that the Knights have been moving the ball wouldn't be a shock if they even went for an onside kick like they did early in the game. But we'll see here. Kicking from right to left is Josiah Smith. Ball in the middle of the field at the 40-yard line. And this kick, a long one, will drop, a shorter one will drop around the 31-yard line. Recovered by the Knight, Braden McInturf, his second time that he's caught one of those at the 30. So 1st and 10 coming up next for this offense. 8:33 up on the clock, 28-26 the score. Luers, if they score here, they can really hurt the Stars' chances of coming back. I'm going to be interested to see if this team decides to go for a quick score like they have so far today, averaging under 2 minutes per possession, or maybe they'll try to run the ball some more and take up longer time to run the clock out. We'll see right now with the trips formation to the near side, ball on the far hash mark, 31-yard line of their own. Out of the gun is the quarterback, Carson Clark. It'll be a handoff to Anderson, cuts it upfield with some room now. Number 1, Anderson, breaks it open for 10 yards and gets the first down. About 10 yards and an inch will move the chains to the 41-yard line. And what a play there, just navigating through traffic. And a nice play by Raymond Anderson. His numbers so far this year have been pretty impressive for the team on the ground. He leads the team with 97 attempts coming into the game with 528 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's added 2 touchdowns today on 10 attempts with 30 yards. Now with a hurry up, the 3 wide receivers set to the near side again, throws it to the far side. It's caught, this time wrapped up by Bowman. The receiver who did catch the ball, Johnny Sewell, is brought down, still gains about 9 yards. And once again, the Stars playing soft coverage and allow the, 7-yard gain.
We'll have to see here how the Stars' defense is going to tighten up as Bishop Luer here gets closer to the end zone. And we'll see if Pelly talk to them at all and see if they switch anything up. 2nd
and 3 from the 48 of their own. 7:36 to go. Luers on offense, out of the gun with 3 wide receivers set to the near side. Throws it to the near side. A quick screen. 2 guys run into each other, but the pass is complete, and that will move the chains. A gain of about 7 yards as 2 receivers ran into each other, but Menson had the reception and brings it all the way to the Western Boone 45-yard line. The short passing has allowed this clock to continue to roll. 1st and 10 in quarter 4, 7:20 up on the clock. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line, out of the gun with this time spread formation. Towards the middle of the field is where the ball lays right now. Standing at the 49 of his own is the quarterback, Clark. He'll take the snap, looks to throw to the far side with some open receiver. It's Sewell, tries to make a move, and Bowman brings him down, but he will still get it a good 9 yards. And once again, the cornerbacks for this team just playing soft coverage and allowing these short passes to work. They need to get up on the line of scrimmage and start jamming the wide receivers.
Yeah, something we haven't seen a lot of from the Stars is coverage on the receivers, but when we do see that, it's usually outstanding from them.
Now the ball, for 2nd and 1 from the 38-yard line after the 9-yard gain. This time Anderson with some room, open field. He'll get out of bounds. Had open field, but is sent out of bounds right at the last second. Gets to the 26, 27-yard line of the Stars and moves the chains. This offense moving downfield methodically. Haven't needed to use a 3rd down yet. 6:28 up on the clock. It's stopped, awaiting the whistle from the referee. Now 1st and 10 from the 27 of Western Boone. Handoff goes to Anderson, and he's tripped up. He cuts it out to the near side out and is in the outside zone, cuts it back upfield. Still hasn't been brought down, evades tackles, now loses 2. A lot of work from Raymond Anderson. He probably ran about 40 yards that play and lost 2. Ran it to the near side, had to stop and cut it to the far side, and a flag on the play, though. You would assume that it would be holding. It was against Bishop Luers, so they'll lose 2, but drop back. I'm not sure if the Stars will accept or decline this. Yeah, they sure will. So replay, first down, but a loss of 5 yards rather than 2nd down and 12.
We'll see here what the Stars are going to do with these opportunities that are coming at them for their defense, and see if they tighten up their game at all. As we could see there, Raymond Anderson was kind of loose out on the field running back and forth before any Western Boone defense players could get to him.
That was a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 6:16 on the clock. 1st and 22 on the 39-yard line. This is the Stars' chance on defense. Now they can play a bit softer coverage, knowing that they don't need to hold them to just 7 or 8 yards this play. From the 39, looking to throw. Clark on the near side, throws to the far side, has a man open. It's caught. Enough to move the chains once again, throwing it through the air and finds the wide open man with Antoine Lake. A nice throw there right into the cushion of the defense. And Lake so far this year with 21 catches coming into the game, 289 and 1, and he's got 2 catches so far today. Make that 3 catches for 19 yards. And there he moves the chains. 1st down and 10 now from the Western Boone 14-yard line. Ball in the middle of the field. Spread formation. The running back is to the left of the quarterback, Clark. Hogue's the running back. He gets the handoff to the near side. Bounces it out. Has some room to the 5, to the 4, now the 3, and out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Big plays have been a staple in this offense so far throughout the whole season, and that is evident here. Fort Wayne Bishop Luers looking to score again with 5:27 up on the clock. We'll have 1st down and goal after Hogue went out of bounds at the 3.
That was a really great play there from Bishop Luers, just really charging forward, trying to keep those defenders away.
This time a new running back in is Devon Doty. He also plays defensive line, and he's also a kick returner, all-purpose man. He's in at running back. Here is the shotgun formation, the tight end to the left side of the line. It'll be a handoff to Doty. Doty cuts it upfield and is stopped just short of the 1-yard line. 2nd down and goal from the 1 coming up next.
That was a good stop there by Western Boone. Really just completely stopping number 3 there in his tracks, making sure he can't get forward at all.
5:05 and ticking off the clock. The Stars need 2. They're down by 2, 28-26 is the score. Under 5 minutes now to go from the goal line. The running back is once again Doty. 2 extra blockers. It's a quarterback keeper. He tries to bounce it out to the left side. He can't do it, and he will actually be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 1. The defense makes a stand. Something that the Stars have done all year long is play very good against the run, and today they've been so focused throwing it through the air that the Stars have struggled on the ground defense. That time they do a very, very nice job of stopping that quarterback keeper, and Doty heads to the sideline.
Western Boone's defense here really just trying to focus in on wherever the ball may be and trying to get everybody there as soon as they can to make sure that any rushes or passes aren't going to get through.
The crowd making some noise. 3rd and 1 from the 1. 3rd and goal, that is. And now the flags fly. Will it be a false start? This play is huge. Sure enough, that'll move the Knights back. So instead of 3rd down and goal from the 1, they'll be backed up. It'll make it even harder for this team to convert now. They've got that field goal in their back pocket. They've got such a good kicker in Roll Pineda. But, of course, they want the points. All 6 of them, and maybe a 7th.
Good opportunity here for Western Boone to focus in even more and, try and get the possession of that ball once again so then possibly they can start taking lead if they can get it.
3rd and 6 after Simmons, the tight end, jumped a little early. So now from the gun is the quarterback. Clark has a tight end and 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Ball in the middle hash, looking to throw, rolls out left, throws it right, screen pass. Anderson with some room in front of him. Can they stop him? The Stars do at the goal line. Brought out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Anderson, with 2 touchdowns today, is brought out and can't score a third on the screen pass. Faking left, looking right, and threw it that way. But now we'll have 4th down and 2, and a tough decision for this team. They can get points and be up by 5, or they can try to go for this after the Stars have made 3 great plays on defense. That time Garrity in on the tackle. Brings him down from his arms and gets help from Marsh. And also from Hysong. Now the crowd getting into it from the 2-yard line, going for it on 4th down. Obviously a press coverage situation for this defense on the near hash mark. This is it for this drive. The last play, looking to throw it. It'll be a handoff, and the whistles are blown dead. Was a timeout called before the play? No, it'll be an illegal shift, and that'll move Luers back even farther. So now a tough call. Do you go for the field goal, or do you go for an extended play here, as we'll have a loss of 5, 4th and 7. Excuse me, a delay of game was the call. Don't see those very often here at this level.
Really tough decisions, are facing the Knights here. They really are going to have to figure out what to do quickly if they're going to want to get these extra points here.
3:44 on the clock. This could mean the ball game at this stage. 4th and 7, 4th and goal from the 7 on the near hash mark. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side, a tight end on the near side. From the gun is the quarterback looking to throw. He's going to roll out left. He's going to throw it to the end zone. That is caught for a touchdown. Menson scores again. And the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers team just put themselves in position, the driver's seat of winning this game. 3:38 to go. What a play on 4th and 7. A tough call and the perfect play as the lefty went left. And what a throw and what a catch in the back of the end zone. Pineda to bang home the PAT coming up here shortly. Krishawn Menson has 1 rush for 4 yards, and he's got 2 receiving touchdowns today. The kick is up through the PAT, and they'll give him the point. 35-26 now the score. The Stars have been trailing since the second drive of the game. And the PAT and the missed 2-point conversion huge for this team, because now they need 2 scores, down by 9 with 3:38 to go. A team that has relied heavily on their running game is going to have to throw the ball here. We'll take a quick break and be back shortly right here on WBTV Sports.
For starters, greater opportunities for our kids.
And here comes Lopez. He dribbles, fakes, shoots, and scores! A high-paying job!
Putting today's young people on the pathway to success. Inspiring them to never give up. Encouraging them to always do their best. Teaching them how to be better leaders. It's all included in the price of admission when you go to an IHSAA athletic event. All you have to do is buy a ticket.
I can do that.
High school sports. We pay, they play, everybody wins. This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Oh, my goodness!
Welcome back here to Lucas Oil Stadium in the driver's seat of what could be their 12th state championship in school histories, the Fort Wayne Bishop Luers Knights. They're ahead 35-26 with 3:38 to go left in the 4th quarter. Ready to kick the ball off to the Stars, who are going to need 2 quick scores here. They're going to need a score, a stop, and a score in order to win this game. And the way that the offense has been moving with 272 rushing yards on 54 attempts, only 41 passing yards today, they're going to need to go through the air a lot more on this drive.
We'll see here how the Stars are going to handle, this huge deficit here against them, and just watch what they're going to do next for this next play from their offense.
Turnovers have been the difference today. No turnovers for this Bishop Luers team, but the Stars with 2 fumbles of their own. Here comes the kick going from left to right. It's a squib. Will land around the 15-yard line. Baird picks it up and reverses field position. Tosses it out to Marsh, who is stopped. Cuts it back upfield, now to 15, to 14, and dropped to the 13-yard line. The defender had the choice of either tackling the returner Baird, and then Baird tossed it out to Marsh, and the defender didn't bite. He went right over to Marsh and got the tackle. What a play there. Another good one by Antoine Lake.
You know, the Stars, they're going to have to pick up their passing game here late and establish it really quick to get some success. I don't see the run game working as much as they want it to.
Now from the 14-yard line, trips formation to the far side, ball in the middle of the field. Looking to throw, looking Garrity's way. Garrity has a throw way away from him, and that Garrity had no chance of catching that one. In on the coverage for the Luers defense was Nick Thompson, the 6'2", 185-pound sophomore. Matches up the closest in size to Garrity, and that time just the throw a little too early and didn't let Garrity really get a chance to break away from the wide receiver. From right to left, from the 14-yard line of their own, with 3:26 to go, and looking to throw is Young. The quick throw to the near side, out of bounds is Miller, and he gets a nice gain of about 7 yards, but that'll bring up 3rd down and short.
We'll have to see here what kind of approach the Stars are going to take with this next play. Possibly a longer pass attempted by the Stars just to try and get that extra yardage there, trying to get as much as they can.
Now at the 21-yard line of their own with the one running back, 3 wide receivers. It'll be a handoff to Robbie Taylor, who gains 3 yards, gets what appears to be the 1st down. So the clock stops momentarily, but this Stars team going to have to hurry up to the line, and they will. Actually, it looks like yeah, sure enough. So the team will head to the line of scrimmage. The officials will call a timeout to measure, and that gives the Stars a chance to take a little breather. 3:17 up on the board. In the 4th quarter, 3rd and 3 was the play. Now we're looking at either 4th and inches or possibly a 1st down, excuse me. We'll see what they call. Measuring right now. And they'll say it's going to be 4th and centimeters. I don't know if you can get any closer. And they're going to stand to their call, so 4th down in centimeters here for this team. Need to convert right here before they can even think about going downfield.
The Stars here really having to pull together to, understand and take the right approach to this next play. It'll be really interesting to watch what they do.
Here we go, 4th down and inches at the 24-yard line. It'll be a handoff to Taylor, who breaks it to the outside, has some room, gets the 1st down and more, plus about 7 yards after that. Clock stops to bring over the chains, 3:07 on the board. Now we need some quick passing plays and maybe go downfield for a shot or 2.
Surely enough, that handoff to Taylor was what was going to do it for them. Typically, that's always going to be their approach whenever they're very close to that 1st down.
Under center, Taylor, the running back, 2 wing backs and 2 wide receivers. At the middle of the field is the ball. It'll be a toss out to Marsh, the reverse to Garrity, the toss back, a flea flicker. Now downfield, wide open is Marsh. Marsh drops. No, he catches the ball at the 40-yard line to the 45 with some open field at the 30, to the 25, the 20. Luke Marsh being dragged down. They can't bring him down to the 18-yard line. He finally drops. What a play on the double reverse flea flicker. Young to Marsh. Moves the chains and gives the Stars the juice they needed. 2:33 up on the clock. Need to get up quickly and get their next play going. But now 18 yards away from pay dirt. Still down 2 touchdowns. 2:28 to go. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. The clock starts rolling now. What a play. A huge play. Went for 50 yards to Luke Marsh on the double reverse. Now the next play will be a handoff to the running back with Taylor. Taylor pushes forward. Once again moves the pile. Gets 8 yards. Down to the 11. And now the timeout is called by the Stars. Their first timeout called. 2:07 up on the clock. We'll be back. And shortly, the conclusion of the 2A state finals And football will come up here right after this.
If you bought a ticket to an IHSAA athletic event last weekend, give yourself a giant pat on the back.
You helped ensure our school has the resources it needs to support our athletic program.
You might have even punched somebody's ticket to a better life.
Yeah, like mine.
So give yourself a big high five.
Yeah!
And thank you.
High school sports.
You pay.
We play.
Everybody wins.
That's right.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA.
Here, we're back here at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Stars will have the ball, second down and 2:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Time is of the essence right now. At the 10-yard line is where the ball is placed after the run by Robbie Taylor just outside the 10 at about the 10.5-yard line. Going from right to left is the Stars.
We witnessed a great play there from the Stars, an amazing pass by Elliott Young, and an awesome catch by number 8 Luke Marsh with a lot of pressure on him. He was able to just get up there and get it quickly, and shake his defender off him and get down the field as quickly as he could.
Everybody in Lucas Oil Stadium on their feet, waiting for this next play call. Once again, 2:07 up on the clock after the timeout stopped it. Second down and 2 from just past the 10-yard line. Heavy set formation. It'll be a handoff, and Robbie Taylor pushes forward, breaks into the open field, into the goal line, not quite scoring the touchdown, but centimeters away from it. And the clock will stop there. The Stars have been running the ball in these short yardage situations because they know they can stop the clock, and it's worked out here. At 1:58 is the time. There seems to be some issue down on the field. It'll be first and goal from the 1. The clock they had to add some time to the clock. So 2:01 up on the clock. Only 6 seconds was the last play. Now from the goal line, handoff, Taylor. He scores again. The Stars with 6 on the Colts side of the end zone. The run to the right side of the offensive line. Robbie Taylor does it again. 3 touchdowns in the game last year and 2 today.
Another outstanding play there by the Stars, really pushing towards that end zone as they always do when it comes down to those inches to get in there. Handing it off to Taylor, not even a last resort, but right now it seemed to have been their last resort, and it served them very well.
Some hope left for the Stars. The PAT is down. It's up, so now it's a 2-point game here, 35-32 with 1:55 to go in the fourth. The Knights will have the ball on offense. The Stars can stop the clock twice. We'll see if the Stars defense can get a stop or if Luers can get the first down that they need to run out the clock.
It's funny there with Robbie Taylor usually being the first choice for Western Boone when it comes to their attack. They wanted to avoid a rushing game here as they're so far behind in this fourth quarter with only, under 2 minutes to go here. But they realized we're inches away. Robbie Taylor is a man of just, inching forward and forward whenever he can, and they just handed it to him, and, he pulled through.
That play, 8 plays, 86 yards, and a $136 off the clock. That's what the doctor ordered for this Stars team. The reverse on third down really helped, and it converted the chains, moved the ball down 50 yards, who almost dropped the ball. Luckily for him, he was able to hold on, move downfield, and set up Taylor's touchdown from the 1-inch line. The Stars on offense, 59 total rushes for 301 yards and 4 touchdowns. Taylor with 210, 2 on 43 carries. That's all this team's been doing all game, running the ball over and over and over again. 98 yards and a touchdown through the air is Elliott Young, who's 6 for 11. Now headed back out to the field. The kicking team for the Stars getting their hands team ready for what we can only assume will be an onside kick. The ball will be on the 40-yard line. The kicker, Josiah Smith. And the return team close up here. The hands team for Luers just past the 50-yard line. The ball needs to go 10 yards. Everybody on their hands and knees for the Stars, as if they're doing track starts. Here comes a kick, goes too far, and that's picked up and knelt down. Recovered by the return team, So Luers will have the ball from their own 47-yard line. Great field position here. They only need a first down. They can just run the ball, go with some short passes. The Stars, we mentioned, have 2 timeouts left. Luers with 3. $1:53 left to go here in this game.
The Knights here sitting at, a great field position for them, for their offense, just to really play out anything that they might think necessary and, most likely play it out easily.
From the guns, the quarterback, likely going to see a run play, though. Anderson, the running back. Clark from the gun will take the snap, hand it off. It'll be a quarterback keeper, actually. Clark with some open field. Got to hold on to the ball. He will. He gets 6 yards. But the clock will stop. The referees seem to call the clock dead. He might have went out of bounds. A nice play. The speedy quarterback, don't see him too often. The timeout called by Western Boone. 2nd down and 5 coming up next. We'll be back in just 30 seconds right here on WBTV Sports.
Goosebumps? Then purchase a ticket to an athletic event, lasting difference in your community. Buying a ticket to an IHSAA game or meet helps ensure your school has the funding it needs to operate. New uniforms, safer equipment, transportation. Your ticket purchase helps to pay for it all. You're also helping today's student athletes learn the life skills they need to get better jobs and become better leaders. Plus, you'll see them do some amazing things.
Whoa! Did you see that? Oh, man, I think I just got goosebumps.
Me too.
High school sports. We pay, they play. Everybody wins. This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Welcome back here. Nathaniel calling to Maggie for WBTV Sports. The ball will be placed at the 48-yard line of Western Boone in enemy territory as this offense of the Knights. 1:48 to go. The Stars have just 1 timeout left. 2nd down and 5. Now from the gun on the far hash mark. 3 wide receivers set to the near side. That's the open side, and 1 to the far side with some more congestion. From the gun, it'll be a handoff to Anderson. Anderson with the sweep. He's stopped for a loss of 2. That's what the doctor ordered on defense. The timeout is the final one that'll be called by the Stars. 3rd down and long coming up next. But you got to assume maybe 4 down territory if you're this team right around midfield. But they've been able to convert everything they've wanted to today as the Knights. And we'll pause now as the Stars call their final timeout. Down by 2, 35-33 the score, 1:42 to go in the 4th quarter. This defense needs to get the stop if the Stars want to three-peat. Bishop Luers well in control of the final 1:42 of this game. We'll be back shortly after another 30-second break right here on WBTV Sports.
Basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common. They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here to Lucas Oil Stadium. 1:42 left to go in the 4th quarter. Needing a stop here on 3rd down and 8 is Western Boone. Ball in Knights territory at the 49-yard line of their own. The biggest play of the game so far for Western Boone on defense. Can they get the stop? They've been dominant on defense all year. Tackles for loss and sacks. We'll see if that continues. Heavy set formation timeout called. Likely from the offense, sure enough. We'll stay here, though, as I wonder what this next play is going to be. It's 3rd down and 8, so, of course, the Stars have really stopped the run the last couple plays. They've been trying to go outside of the sweeps, and Western Boone has been locking it up on the outside. So what kind of play are we going to see here on this next drive, on this next play?
I'm going to go with a pass play on this one. You know, they've had success on those short passes all night, all day. The defense has been playing a little soft out on the corner, so I'm going to go with about a short yardage pass.
You know, I've got to go with probably a trick play for a rush, from the Knights here, just trying to trip up Western Boone, because that's, something they haven't done a lot of today because, they're such a heavy passing team. So in an attempt to try and throw off Western Boone, we can maybe see a trick play for a rush just for that little bit of a yard gain.
Well, no timeouts available for this play, of course. Luers still has 2 that starts with none, but each team has used a timeout before this play began. The most important play of the game to date. 35-33, $1:42 to go in this fourth quarter. 3rd and 8 from the 49-yard line of their own. Out of the gun with 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. They're running back to the left of the quarterback is Clark. Carson Clark takes the snap. It'll be a handoff, a sweep to the near side. Wide open is the field. He gets near there's a flag on the play, but gets just shy. Looks like they might give him the first down, but now as the referee's walking, it might be 4th down and inches. But a flag is on the play near the offensive backfield after the sweep went to the near side from the running back Anderson. And all ears as we wait the call. That'll be a holding against the offense. Lose 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 3rd down and long coming up next.
Sorry there, Nathaniel. Really looking good there for the Stars. That loss of yards for the Knights there, really a beacon of hope for them in a sense, as they can possibly turn this game around.
And now I'm waiting for this offense, but Western Boone's defense, and Coach Pelly's saying about this too, do you take 4th and inches or do you go 3rd and long to where you know the team's likely going to pass? We're going to find out here shortly as the referee comes over to give us as they try to figure out what they want to do. It looks like they're going to measure, so Coach Pelly wants a measurement before he makes his decision. I'm sure if it's 4th and inches, he might just let his team try to iron out these last couple yards. Because the way the Stars have been leaky on the back end, you don't really want to force Luers into a passing situation. Sure enough, it will be 4th down and about 2 feet. So Coach Pelly with a tough decision. This is where coaching really comes in the Stars' strong suit.
Pelly being such a great coach, he'll know how to make this decision well and try and play it out best for his players out here. And
it looks like they're going to go ahead and take the holding. So it's going to be, I don't even know if the referees, the ball's still on the, now they're going to throw it to, there we go. So now they're going to get this figured out. They're going to step it out from the 49-yard line, which is where the foul occurred. Take 10 steps. So now the ball will be at the 41 of Bishop Luers. 3rd down and 16 now. And once again, 3rd down and long. Here we go, the 3rd time in a row that I've said this is the biggest play of the game. Passing situation likely. Or maybe Colin, you're right, maybe we'll see some type of trick play. Menson to the near side with joining his other receiver, Glenn. And then it's just a lone receiver to the far side. Out of the gun at the near hash mark. They're running back to the near side as well. Clark standing at the 35-yard line, belt high snap. It'll be a handoff, and that's stopped for just a few yards. Anderson, they can't stop the clock, though, so the clock will roll down from where it is. But 1:22 up on the clock, and it'll be 4th down and 10 after the run by Anderson gained about 8 yards, but not enough for the first down, obviously, and this is definitely the time to punt, because if you can't convert this, then the Stars have the ball in really good territory. So we'll see what the coach calls here with Kyle Lindsey, chasing his first state finals game in 8 years. Looks like the team might let the clock go all the way down to 0 before they call a timeout. We'll take just a short break and be back to set up this next play. 4th down and 10 with 45 seconds to go right after this.
Number 1.
Why do we think you're number one?
Because as high school athletes, we know there is no us without you.
We know that when you buy a ticket to see an IHSAA game or meet, you're helping pay for new uniforms, safer equipment, or even a bus ride to the game.
But we also know what you're really saying is, I believe in you. I believe you could be somebody.
When you think about all of the opportunities your attendance at an IHSAA athletic event creates,
And the fact that you paid for your ticket,
well, fantastic doesn't begin to describe how we feel about you.
high school sports,
You pay,
we play.
everybody wins.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Now here we go. Here's the scene. 45 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Up by 2 is Bishop Luers. 4th and 10 from the 47-yard line of their own after a couple costly penalties and some nice stops by the Western Boone defense. If they get the first down, they win the game. But they might, I'm sure they're going to decide to punt here, sure enough. They don't want to risk it at 4th and 10. They've done very well in these 4th down situations, but today they're going to punt it being in negative territory. So Will Pineda, that'd be the punter, Evan Linker, is back to punt and try to pin the Stars deep. 45 seconds to go. Also keep an eye out for a fake, but highly unlikely at this situation. Sure enough, the punt will go through. A nice punt goes high, will be caught. A fair catch, and oh, wait a second, was it muffed? No, there's a flag because right around the 27-yard line, the returner called for the fair catch, and he was drilled by the defense. So flag will fly in, some extra yards will be here for Western Boone. So now with 39 seconds to go, the Stars need to go deep. They've got no timeouts, so if it's not to the end zone, it needs to be out of bounds. The ball right now is spotted at the 31-yard line as the players come onto the field for Western Boone. It's still waiting to move the ball. The extra yardage that Baird deserved after being slammed, after waving his arm for the fair catch. That'll be 15 yards from the spot, so that really sets up the Stars nicely. They'll be at the 46-yard line instead of the 31. And now all they need is a field goal, so all they need here is, if you calculate the longest kick so far this year for the Stars has been about 40 yards. That was against Frankfurt with Josiah Smith. And right now they're 53 yards away from the end zone. They need to get around the 30-yard line. 27, here's the throw with some pressure. The screen pass incomplete. Intended target on the screen would have been the wing back with Mitch Miller, but it went off his foot. The pressure in the face of the quarterback, Young. So now 2nd down and 10 from that 46-yard line.
This game being so close with the Stars in possession, we're going to see a lot of just last-minute plays here from them, just trying to get further and further down as quickly as possible with 35 seconds on the clock. They don't have a lot of wiggle room here.
On the near side, the near hash mark on their own 46-yard line, 35 seconds to go. Man in motion's Miller out of the pistol formation. Looking to throw with some pressure. It's a screen pass. Caught. He will be kept in bounds, though, is Marsh. So Marsh, no, he'll be sent out of bounds. We'll see what is called. Sure enough, Marsh found a way to muscle his way out of bounds. 3rd down and short coming, but on the opposite side of the field now at the 48 of the Knights. And Marsh somehow made his way to the sideline and stops the clock with 27 seconds to go. He was stopped at least 5 yards inside the sticks, and he pushed himself, and then his line pushed him out of bounds. And sure enough, that'll stop the clock now at the near sideline, the near hash mark, from the 48. It's 3rd down and 4 in the pistol formation. 3 wide receivers set in a wing. Now looking to throw, gets it to a wide open receiver. He's got to get out of bounds as Mitch Miller. Mitch Miller does get out of bounds, and it will be enough for the 1st down. So now with 21 seconds to go, the gain of just 4 by Miller, his 4th touch of the game. He's got 3 rushes for 23 yards and then that catch.
This game is really coming down to be a complete nail-biter here. Nobody knows where it's going to go from here, what direction. It's in either side's favor right now.
To the 23 would be a 40-yard kick. So we'll see what this offense decides to do, whether it'll come down to the very end on a Hail Mary, if they can kick the ball from 21 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 44, looking to throw with some time in the pocket. Throws this one to the sideline, and it's Garrity with a catch. Catches it out of bounds, gets about 7 yards, but moves the chains a little bit more. 16 seconds to go now. That's the 4th catch of the day from Garrity. He has about 23 yards and a touchdown.
Garrity here might prove vital for these next couple of plays from Western Boone to get to the end zone and get that touchdown with longer passes to him.
Second down and 2 to go. 16 seconds on the clock from the 36-yard line. Needing about 20 yards to get into field goal position. Taking the snap, looking to throw. He's got a Hail Mary attempt. Going deep to the sideline. Pass interference. The Stars will have the ball at the 11-yard line. That effectively puts Western Boone in field goal position. 11 seconds to go, though. And, of course, the missed PAT from Smith you cannot take for granted. This next field goal attempt still awaiting what the exact yardage will be from the referees. The pass interference as the throw is over to the boundary around the 10-yard line to Garrity. And that's the second time he was interfered on that same route. Automatic first down, moves the chains. 11 seconds to go. They're down by 2. A field goal would win the game. This one coming down to the very end. What a thriller here in the first of 6 state finals games at Lucas Oil Stadium this weekend. The ball will be marched down all the way over to the 22-yard line, so this would be a 39-yard field goal if they would line up and kick it now, which they will. With 11 seconds to go, no timeouts, no choice really but to try to kick this one. So now the field goal kicker, this time Josiah Smith. They've kicked a 40-yard so far this year. That one was against Frankfurt. This one would be at the 21-yard line. A timeout called icing the kicker. Not only gives the team the chance to think about it, the kicker a chance to think about it, but it gives me a chance to calculate how long this field goal would be. A 38-yarder is the number. With 11 seconds to go, we'll stay here. And what a thrilling finish. It's going to come down to either a made field goal for the Stars to win the game, or they'll lose by 2 on the miss. So far this year, Smith is only 2 for 5. We mentioned he's got that 40-yard kick in the field goal department.
No matter how this game ends, it was going to be a very, very heavy loss for the losing side. It's just so close right now. You know, whatever comes next is just going to, really determine how well these teams can play under the pressure that they're under right now. Overall, right now, just a very, very, tough situation for the Stars to be in, needing to make that decision on what to do next. So close to the end zone, but not close enough for that reassurance that they're looking for.
11 seconds to go. The final kick. Will it be true, or will it end the Stars' season with a loss in the final moments? The ball will leave the foot of Smith around the 29-yard line. The team still setting up. Durbin the hold. The long snapper Marsh. Smith, who missed a PAT earlier. Can he be a Western Boone hero for 3 straight? Here comes the snap, the hold, the kick. Is it up? And it will be through the uprights for the 1-point lead. The Stars ahead 36-35. 7 seconds to go. And Smith, the hero. Game's not over yet, but the Stars ahead by 1. Could you ask for a better finish to the 3rd straight trip to the state finals if you're Western Boone? It's going to come down to a Hail Mary.
Unbelievable there. Amazing for the Stars. The perfect situation that they could have been in right here for this entire scenario. Amazing job by Josiah Smith. Just overall.
Smith is only 50% kicking field goals. but he made the most important one of his career.
He didn't let the pressure get to him at all. You know, he got out there and he did it well. He did his job. He did it well.
And how many games has his father, Hunter Smith, changed as a punter for the Colts? Obviously playing primarily in the RCA Dome, also some games in Lucas Oil Stadium as well towards the beginning of this stadium's birth. And it seems like kicking runs in the family. Smith the punter, Hunter Smith that is, and Josiah the place kicker. Also punts, ready for this kickoff. He does everything, and now he makes the 38-yard field goal.
The Knights here seemingly needing a miracle to turn this game back around in their favor.
The thing is, so far today, they have 300 passing yards. They have a long of 78 today, and then their longest so far this year was 81. That was against Fairfield in the second round of the sectionals, so they can throw the ball deep. It's going to have to be against a prevent defense, though. Kicking from right to left, Josiah Smith. It'll be from the 40-yard line. Seven seconds to go. Here comes the kick. It'll be on the ground, a squib over the head. Now going to get a return at the 30-yard line to the near side. Uh-oh, cutting up field with some room is Doty. He's got some room. One guy to beat, and he can't. Now, with zeros on the clock, the Stars win the game. The third straight state championship in the hands of Boone County. Western Boone wins it on the return by Doty, who almost took it all the way, but the Stars prevailed. The Stars prevailed and win their third straight. Everybody gathers at the 45-yard line where the final stop laid. Zeros on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, your Class 2A state champions in high school football of Indiana is Western Boone. Coach Pelly wins his third straight. The senior class now will have three state championship rings, and this is the most thrilling ending of any of them.
An amazing game overall from both sides. Western Boone falling behind in that first half, but turning it around here at the end with that field goal that they made there, ending with 36-35. Just overall a very tough game. You know, great plays from the Knights and from the Stars alike.
Yeah, against all odds, the Stars, when they really needed it in this game, you know, they were out of it all game. And then right there, when the final minutes were running down, the final time that they needed to pull through and the defense needed to stop and Josiah Smith needed to step up, all of it put together, and against all odds, they came out on top tonight.
The game wasn't perfect, but it ended right how the Stars wanted. Ahead 36-35, the 38-yard field goal, the second longest of Smith's career and the most pressure-packed game that Western Boone has played in years. And for Luers, they got that kickoff return, and they could have just taken the knee and trusted their quarterback. We mentioned he is second in the state, 10th in the nation in passing yards. He can throw the ball deep. They've done it all game today. 300 passing yards, but instead Doty tried to win it himself, and he almost did. He cut it upfield, almost made it, and just a second shy. If he went down a second earlier, then that team would have won the game, because they would have had the chance at least to throw the Hail Mary from the 40-yard line, which the way they've been playing would have been pretty high success rate. But instead the Stars bring him down with zeros on the clock and somehow win this game. The ring ceremony down on the field, the medal ceremony. First, Luers will get their second place medals, the red, and then the Stars will get their blue medals after that. Right now we've got a coaching interview with Coach Pelly. What a game he had as he right now is on the IHSAA stream. Looking at some final stats for today. Total yards, 417 for Western Boone, 378 for Luers. Passing yards, 116 to 303. I'm sure you can guess who's leading in that category. Rushing yards, 301 to 75. In the same way, the Stars are leading with those 300 yards on the ground, which is the style of football they want to play. Penalties have been huge, especially on that last drive. Luers, 10 penalties for 90 yards. Western Boone just a penalty for 15 yards, and that was a pass interference in the first quarter. First downs, the Stars had 27. Luers had 16. And the turnover battle was won by Luers, but it didn't matter because that final kickoff at the very end, the Stars forced a punt when it mattered most. They marched down the field, and they won the game. That concludes WBTV Sports Broadcast, unless you two have anything you'd like to add. Nathaniel Finch, Colin Marth, and Maggie Michael, Technical Director Austin Smothers, and Allison Gard. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. What a season it's been, and what a 3 years here for Western Boone. They win this game with a final score 36-35. Congratulations, Weibo. Enjoy this one. For WBTV Sports, Nathaniel Finch, everybody enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend.